divine warning by the prophet for the nations. The citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family bearing one free national name. Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classed as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. And it is and it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to the names and the principles that allude to slavery. I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways and go back to that state of mind of their forefathers' divine and national principles, that they will be law abiders and receive their divine right as citizens according to the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. They are to claim their own free national name and religion. There is but one issue for them to be recognized by this government and of the earth, and it comes only through the connection of the Moorish divine and national movement, which is incorporated in this government and recognized by all other nations of the world. And through it, if they and their children can receive their divine rights unmolested by other citizens, they can cast a free national ballot at the polls under the free national constitution of the state's government and not under a granted privilege, as has been the existing condition for many generations. You who doubt whether I, the prophet, and my principles are right for the redemption of my people, go to those who know law in the city hall and among the officials in your government and ask them under an intelligent tone, and they will be glad to render you a favorable reply, for they are glad to see me bring you out of darkness into the light. Money doesn't make the man. It is free national standards and power that make a man and a nation. The wealth of all national governments, gold and silver and commerce, belong to the citizens alone. And without your national citizenship by name and principles, you have no true wealth. And I am hereby calling on all true citizens that stand for a national free government and the enforcement of the Constitution to help me in my great missionary work, because I need all support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. Help me to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional law of government. I'm depending on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again, that they will learn to love instead of hate, and will live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, supporting our free national constitution for the United States of America. I love my people, and I desire their unity and mind back to their own national and divine standard, because day by day they have been violating the national constitution, the national and constitutional laws of their government by claiming names and principles that are unconstitutional. If Italians, Greeks, English, Chinese, Japanese, Turks, and Arabians are forced to proclaim their free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America, it is no more than right that the law should be enforced upon all other American citizens alike. In all other governments, when a man is born and raised there and asks for his national descent name, and if he fails to give it, he is misused, imprisoned, or exiled. Any group of people that fail to answer up to the constitutional standards of law by name and principles, because to be a citizen of any government, you must claim your national descent name, because they place their trust upon issue and names formed by their forefathers. The word Negro alludes in the Latin language to the word nigger, the same as the word color alludes to anything that is painted, varnished, and dyed. And every nation must bear a national descent name of their forefathers, because honoring thy fathers and thy mothers, your days will be lengthened upon this earth. These names have never been recognized by any true American citizen of this day. Through your free national name, you were known and recognized by all nations of the earth that are recognized by said national government in which they live. The 14th and 15th Amendment brought the North and South in unit, placing the Southerners, who were at that time without power, with the constitutional body of power. And at that time, 1865, the free national constitutional law that was enforced in 1774 declared all men equal and free. And if all men are declared by the free national constitution to be free and equal, since that constitution has never been changed, there is no need for the application of the 14th and 15th Amendment for the salvation of our people and citizens. So, there isn't but one supreme issue for my people to use to redeem that which was lost, and that is through the above statements. Then the lion and the lamb can lie down together in yonder hills, and neither will be harmed, because love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice will be reigning in these lands. In those days, the United States will be one of the greatest civilized and prosperous governments of the world. But if the above principles are not carried out by my citizens and my people of this government, the worst is yet to come, because the great God of the universe is not pleased with the works that are being performed in North America by my people. And this great sin must be removed from the land to save it from enormous earthquakes, diseases, etc. And I, the prophet, do hereby believe that this administration of government, being more wisely prepared by more genius citizens that believe in their free national constitution and laws, and through the help of such classes of citizens, I, the prophet, truly believe that my people will find the true and divine way of their forefathers and learn to stop serving carnal customs and merely ideas of man that have never done them any good, but have always harmed them. So I, the prophet, am hereby calling aloud with a divine plea to all true American citizens to help me to remove this great sin which has been committed and is being practiced by my people in the United States of America, because they know it is not the true and divine way. And without understanding, they have fallen from the true light into utter darkness of sin. And there is not a nation on earth today that will recognize them socially, religiously, politically, or economically, etc., in their present condition of their endeavorment in which they themselves try to force upon a civilized world. They will not refrain from their sinful ways of action, and their deeds have brought Jim Crowism, segregation, and everything that brings harm to human beings on earth. And they fought the Southerner for all these great misuses. But I have traveled in the South and examined conditions there, and it is the works of my people continuously practicing the things that bring dishonor, disgrace, and disrespect to any nation that lived the life. And I am hereby calling on all true American citizens for moral support and finance to help me in my great missionary work to bring my people out of the darkness into the marvelous light. From the Prophet, Islam. Um, he said the mic was choppy. It was choppy the whole time. I'm just not looking at the chat. Am I clear?
Yeah, you
Appreciate
clear
it.
now.
You sound good now.
Okay. Um, so where we left off last week, we were looking at the tail end of the nationality paperwork before I transition to other aspects for today. Essentially, these are case laws that pretty much close out the nationality paperwork. Um, Pretty self-explanatory. If people have questions on this, we can kind of dive deeper. Once again, Article 4, Section 1 is what links the case laws. So you can utilize it as something that already has been decided. Um, Nobody had questions on these case laws. I'm going to continue.
What paragraph do we leave off at last time?
This is where we left off.
Right here.
Yeah. Okay. So now we have a couple paragraphs. I'm going to read these paragraphs. Just stop me. Um, if you want to just elaborate on something. Other than that, I'm just going to keep reading through the nationality paperwork where we left off. Whereas in light of the foregoing jurisprudence, stare decisis, Supreme Court decisions, facts and law, and counter to the negative and colorable social conditions instituted by state persons of the United States society, there exists a blatant want of jurisdiction on the part of the Union States Right Republic, acronym USA, its agents, personnel, contractors, and assigns. Axioms are legal in force under national and international law attending these uses. These issues. Thank you. And this affiant natural person does not waive any rights, does not transfer power of attorney, and does not willingly consent to any public trial or hearing in any colorable tribunal, venue, or non-Article 3 unconstitutional jurisdiction. The official oaths, the obligations, and the fiduciary duties of all accusers and bound claimants to national law and order, civilization principles fixed in the constitutional law still stands. Definition and truth still rules. Non-compliance is a federal international law offense. Continuing. Whereas there is no question that a bench appearance summons, quote unquote, detention, arrest, and ticket or citation issued by a police officer or other for traveling with no driver's license, foreign driver's license, not having a current registration. 1 second, let me get somebody in here. What was that? Not having current registration or mandatory insurance, etc., which carries a fine or jail time, is a penalty or sanction, and is indeed converting a right into a crime, thus violating substantive right. It is reasonable to assume that these Supreme Court judicial decisions are straight and to the point, and there is no lawful method for government to put restrictions or limitations on rights belonging to the people. Continuing, that the organic United States Republic Constitution derived from ancient Moabite Moorish law remains the supreme law of the land, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States flag of peace pursuant to the United States Code Title 4, Chapter 1. Any law that is repugnant, or which means to the opposite of the Constitution shall remain forever colorable and is null and void. Case law, Marbury versus Madison, 1803 Supreme Court case. Any municipal officer, person, personnel, employee, or contractor who violates the rights of the people or citizen are subject to suit in their personal and or official capacity. Nobody has. Islam, peace and love, Brother Kelly exclusive. So, nobody has questions on that. Continuing. So, Title 18, Chapter 1, Chapter 13, Section 241, USC. United States.
I have one question, bro.
Okay.
It says the United States flag of peace. They still talking about the banner?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Treaty of Peace and Friendship is also called the Treaty of Amity and Commerce. So for them, it is commerce. The treaty is a commercial relationship.
Right. Right.
So that would be amity. See, most people coming into the information, they'll look at it like, oh, the yellow fringes around the flag.
Nah, they're war against us. We the
That's
people.
yes, that's the amity jurisdiction. Like, but it's amity in the sense that what gave them jurisdiction to be in America, the Pilgrim crew, the New England crew that came over here,
Mm-hmm.
what allowed them to be here was that treaty, which was still a commercial relationship. We allowed them to be here to conduct their commercial affairs once they separated from our cousins, the British Moors, after they organized amongst themselves. So I'm just saying it from a lot of different vantage points. Just it might be helpful.
I have a question.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm 1 year into the statute of limitations. I got packed out on clip people, and they kidnapped me for a night. They kicked me out. They didn't come to court. How do I find this man and make him responsible for me snatching my turban off and all that?
That sounds like a lawsuit right there. That's
That's a
I know what it
lawsuit,
is.
bro.
I know that they running from me, and I got some of the paperwork from when I went to jail and from when I went to the hospital on my own. But I didn't let them poke and prod on me or whatever, you feel me, outside of me in there or whatever the case may be. And they, like I said, they kicked me out. I came back to court. They didn't come to court, and it's sick out here. Because I would have been. I'm not listening. Yo, Islam. I sent you the thing to get inside of Zoom Mini. You probably got to download Zoom Blood.
Just came in.
Hey,
Brother
I'll send.
Nazirel, peace and love.
Peace and love, blessings, fam.
Hey, peace and love to the brother that got. You said that they made you take your turban off. Do you have a fee schedule by chance? Islam?
He's, he's talking to somebody.
Oh, okay.
Peace and love.
Unmute you.
Peace and love. Yeah.
I think he's talking to someone.
Yeah, you talking, but you muted. Trap L.
Nah, bro, whoop my ass.
Oh, there you go. We hear you now.
They
Now
pulled
we
up,
hear.
they pulled up on me. I was talking. You know what I'm saying? They fired on me or whatever the case may be, talking about, you know what I'm saying, put whatever I had down or whatever the case may be. And they were supposed to pull up and talk to me like a regular person would, like a regular human being, like, man to man. Instead of just, you know what I mean, pulling up like I was some sort of nuisance. Because basically what I was doing, going to go pick up a car because I had signed a contract to go pick up a car or whatever from this car lot or whatever the case may be. They was giving me a problem after I signed that contract and got whatever insurance. And then it was like, oh, you got to get better insurance. I'm like, man, look, bro, it's already supposed to be sign and drive. All that. Basically, they was playing with me with their little contract thing. I was getting information from people at the car genie to write down how to, just get it them on paper and just, leave, tuck my losses, go get on the bus or whatever the case may be. I'm walking out. They walk in. They pack me out, snatch me up, put me in our player jail, whatever the case may be. But once they figured out what I was, they put me out immediately and the fools didn't even come to court. And it was like 5 deep. I could have got tased or whatever the case may be, but like I knew not to fight back because I was gonna die.
Yeah,
Do you
man, that
have
sound
Like
any?
my
like
older brother got
Do
my
you
older
have
brother got
any?
killed by the sheriff, you feel me? You know what I mean? And I'm saying, and the homies left him to die. You feel me? And I can't even really call them niggas my homeboys like that. But we all fucking peoples, 15 cousins, some type of way, whatever the case may be, you feel me? But don't nobody got no national principles, no nationality. So niggas gonna turn each other in and be all selfish or whatever, and first 48 and shit. Straight up.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question. Have you put anyone on notice yet? You got a fee schedule? You have any of these type of instruments in
Oh,
place?
nah. I don't got none of that together because
See
I'm out here in
that
these
that's
streets, bro. Like these are
yeah.
things that I
See,
talk with my partners and whatnot.
that's
Well, with
part
my
of.
one partner, but I was in the middle of like while all this is going on, I'm in the middle of making sure that I don't get charged with carrying the firearm. All that was
Yeah.
happening in the middle of that or whatever, you know what I mean? Trying to, get myself in, get my family off the ground. But yeah, in the middle of running into all of this, the wealth of information that the prophet left here, everybody that you know what I mean, everybody that I know, tobacco me or whatever, like I'm like zero done joints type of person. But meanwhile, everybody else, you feel me, still, you know what I mean, have I'm saying certain problems or whatever. I just figure out certain stuff how to get back
My,
at the people while I'm violated.
yeah, my
It's like,
brother,
cause
you
I gotta
got
live,
you have to
but
get
I'm out
proper
here,
notice.
still though. You know what I
Hey,
mean? It ain't no used to have on Forbes kind of thing or whatever the case may be. No, but I don't got no like nowhere to like sit down and focus. Too many distractions and like that. But I'm working on that.
yeah, you have to get proper notice, my brother. You have to. That's a must. Got to have something on paper, something documented, something that has
Oh yeah,
been.
no. I mean, I sent the story followed up when I sent the notice to work. The motherfuckers didn't come.
No, what I'm saying is that you should have put someone on notice that has an oath of office. And now everyone is tied. See, notice to principal is notice to agent. Notice to
I
agent is
mean,
notice to principal.
all I know right now is whatever, you know what I mean. I write my writs based on the situation or whatnot, and I see writs put a clause until mid period or whatever the case may be. And if I go to court and damn,
yeah. He's saying that
I
he
gotta,
they didn't show
I'm
up.
just like you guys said, you know, figure out a put them on notice with the little information that I do have, and I haven't been able to go back to Montclair because I've been out here pretty much paying rent to live on the street, thing, whatever it can be. But if I'm moving, I can eat, so I'm good. So I'm in a situation right now to where I'm moving. The little, you know what I mean? The bread that I got now, I'm trying to get another situation or whatever so I can back into a set of walls.
Yeah, it
Because it's
sound
been
like you got.
crazy out here in these streets for the last 5 years.
Yeah, you got a lawsuit, my brother.
I'm not the rent. I'm not need, you know what I mean? Southern to help me or whatever I'm saying, get to it. Because I ain't even some motherfucker be like, okay, got all this, that, and the other, and I'm not trying to help nobody, and I'm just trying to be niggerly out here, you feel me? Which means stingy. Nah, bro. You be more, get more. Show people that is something this.
Yeah, man. Based on what I heard, man, you need to get some officers' names. You need to. It seems like you need to put together.
I mean, the paperwork got a couple of them, but I know they will have to get fraud.
You break. I tell you what, you breaking up. I tell you what, you breaking up. So let's talk about this. We'll talk about this after the meeting or
You
like
gonna live, bro?
yeah, on the one-on-one. Yeah, you there's a lot of elements to what you're dealing with. Um,
I could J's, bro. I'll be around. I ain't tripping.
yeah, we'll talk more about that on one-on-one, maybe even later today or something. Um, Now as far as what we're reading, was it out to door? Did anybody have any questions on where we at? Before I get to
I got right there. I'm like, I'm out of like, all of that happened.
yeah, no. I'm talking about anybody in the
That's
chat.
why I was like, I'm gonna go back to you because I don't mean want to interrupt.
You know, Islam. Yeah, anybody in the chat got any questions before I continue with Title 18? Continue reading that. All right, so Title 18, Part 1, Chapter 13 is dealing with essentially color of law. If two or more persons conspire to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district, in the free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege secured to him by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or because of his having so exercised the same, right? And this is relevant to what the brother was talking about. Um, this is one of the charges. So when an affidavit is being filed, you would reference this because typically when you're like we're talking about the lawsuit, we're talking about infraction, we're talking about what Larry Bay just said, we're talking about a bill. You're going to base these amounts on the amount monetary damages that you're suing for is going to be based under these laws. Oh, when you look it up, you're gonna say, oh, any violation of this is monetary. I think one is like 1 million, and one of them like 75,000. It's like based on conspiracy, like it's like literally breakdowns. You know what I mean? So,
Got the
um,
blood and jeans on my back knee and I start to I got some picture whatever from like right after because I take the pictures from when I was in jail. My motherfuckers, oh gosh, they put me in there by myself and then there with the toilet don't work. They did be dirty low key, but it's whatever. Better than when I went in there with knowledge.
yeah, no, it's lying.
You
So,
know they do me dirty, even though they do dirty on purpose. So I'm there tripping on them. We're tripping on them like, but you know how they.
so if two or more persons go in disguise on the highway or on the premise of another with the intent to prevent or hinder his free exercise or enjoyment of any right or privilege so secured, they shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both. And if death results from the acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include kidnapping or attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to kill, they shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for any term of years, or for life, or both, or may be sentenced to death. Title 18, Part 1, Chapter 13, Section 242. Whoever under color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom willfully subjects any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to the deprivation of rights, privileges, or immunity secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or to different punishments, pains, or penalties on account of such person being an alien or by reason of his color or race that are prescribed for the citizen shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 1 year or both. So we can use that for discrimination for we saying we Moors. We can use this on the same tip. All peace and love to brother Yazir Bey. Let me check here, see whoever can chime.
Islam, that last sentence kind of broke up. And I just only heard my name, but Islam Morse.
Peace and love.
It's long, bro.
Yeah, I wanted to add that 18 USC 243, deprivation of rights under color of law, that pertains to any corporation, not just governmental agencies, but any corporation. So if you're dealing with, let's say, Sears and Roebuck, I'm just throwing their name out there, and they're demanding their social security number and they're utilizing the policy, well, that's a deprivation of rights under a color of law. You can actually hit them with this as well. So any corporation, anyone, period. Anyway, I'm a yield.
Islam. So
Hey, I have a
therefore,
quick question.
go ahead.
I have a quick question. So going back to the 14th Amendment and how the 14th Amendment was not ratified, right, in the Library of Congress. On what grounds do those who are underneath the 14th Amendment title of Black or Negro or colored, what grounds are they able to go to court and able to settle out of court and get these big settlements that they get in certain discriminations and interactions with the police?
Well, that's all
Uh,
under civil
It's
rights.
Title II.
Yeah, it's civil
Oh,
rights that's at
that's what
play
they're
at this point.
protected. Oh,
Yes,
okay. Okay.
civil rights. But see, you don't
Right,
want
right.
civil rights. You want human rights because they can walk into court and not feel, they can actually void it, rule against you because it's under civil rights and they can do what they want to do. They got to give a token win here and there. You know what I'm saying? They got to play that game. But what I'm saying is that you want to be under human rights, not civil rights. Claiming your
Okay.
nationality places you under human rights.
Yep. And he
Appreciate that. I'm gonna write that down. Thank you, bro.
he was reading my mind because I was just gonna say they gonna let a couple people slip through the cracks, so it creates an illusion that they out here giving our people remedy, but they picking and choosing. The human rights, they can't pick and choose. It's more clear cut. So yeah, that's good stuff right there. So therefore, in preservation of the rights of indigenous peoples and the preservation of the rights of the people in accordance and defense of the Constitution for the United States Republic of North America and its Republican form of government, and that's Article 4, Section 4, by the way. Everybody has a right to a Republican form of government. A nationality of people that share the same nationality have the right to organize amongst themselves and create government structure. That's a right. That's a human right, a divine right, right? And it's the supreme law of the land. And the primal to the contractual liabilities, oath, bound obligations, and fiduciary duties. So when you hear fiduciary, that just means a trustee position. Duties of the officers of the courts, federal, state, city, and municipal, etc. I hereby demand the enforcement of the de jure laws of the United States and all treaties made under the authority of the United States in accordance with Article 6, Supremacy Clause of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of the Rights of a Child, the Rights of Indigenous People, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the United Nations Charter, Article 55, subsection C, the United States Supreme Court Acts of State. We went over that 2 weeks ago, Act of State Doctrine. The Foreign Sovereign Immunity Act, 28, USC 1601. The Covenant on International Road Traffic, Day 19, September 1949. The World Court Decisions, The Hague, Netherlands, Day 21, January 1958. And the Executive Order 13107.
Hey, I got a question, Mafi. You just mentioned the world courts, right? This
Yeah.
current administration, the Trump administration, they're attempting to pull us out of the world courts. How would that affect us moving forward as far as our international law is concerned?
What's us? When you say he's attempting to pull us, what do you mean by that?
Well, I'm sorry. Well, I mean by us. Well, I'm just speaking, in terms of the United States. Of,
That's the
they're
question. I ain't got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, they're pulling. He's attempting to pull the United States out of the the universal court system, the international courts. He's attempting to pull us out of that. What I'm asking is how would that affect us moving forward if they pull out of that international court venue?
I think it
Oh,
falls on Moors after that. Then
yeah, it'll go straight to the uncut, the treaties, because the treaty can't be suspended.
Right.
The
Got you.
Constitution can. You can suspend the Constitution, but you can't
Okay.
suspend international agreements between
Yeah.
nations.
You just gave me confirmation. I was there, but I didn't know exactly how that would play out. Okay, that's all that was confirmation for me.
And see, that's the imperative why we gotta come together under government, under republic form of government, where all our people are competent on international law, because they call that a consulate or embassy. They'll call our political structure.
We lost you, my
But
friend. I don't hear you.
what about now? Mic check, mic check. Am I back?
Oh,
Mic
you
check. Mic.
good? Yeah,
Okay,
you
okay.
loud and clear.
So they will call our competent consul the consulate or embassy, which means that we're pretty much the court. We don't. Their court don't matter.
I ain't hear
Like,
nothing you just said.
anybody else
Yeah,
can hear me?
it's choppy for me.
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear on my
Yeah,
end.
I
It's
can hear.
choppy
I'm
on
about to
mine.
switch to
yeah,
Verizon.
I can hear. I'm
I'm
good. Y'all, I can hear all of you guys.
all right.
Mic check. Mic check. Mic.
I think it's
No, no, I'm on my hotspot.
you're on your husband.
You been clear on mine.
Mic check.
It's much better for me now, I say.
Mic check. Okay, okay. Um, so what I was saying was when they fall, everybody that's organized flourishes. You know, the back to the Chinatown, Koreatown thing. Like that's what we have to get our thing going on, and that applies to the court system too, because we'll become our own. We're the court. We coming in with records. We're coming in with the law. So if they fall, any type of world court interactions, think about it. We'll be self-sustaining. Who there's no more middleman now. See, the problem is our people are so used to being in a subservient role, we can't imagine a world where we just sovereigns. So I was like, oh, it's like, what is this? But when it comes down to, we need to be be able to be running our own show. We need to have organization amongst ourselves. What we need to do is watch how they run government and implement the same things, right? Um, and everything else hopefully like kind of fall in line. You know what I mean? Um, because imagine when you go to China and Japan, they you can get arrested, right? By their officials. You can get arrested. You can get sent to their jails. They have court officials. They got government. That's government structure. They got hospitals. So now that stuff don't matter about court records or a de facto such people that dissolved and they're no longer relevant. That's really a good thing, right? It
We
forces
got
us
a
to get
dirty
active.
backyard.
Yeah,
We got a dirty backyard.
it forces us to be more active, you know. In these times right now, like I said in the beginning, these are the times where it's time for us to flourish. You know, because Rome is in shambles. Rome is in shambles right now. It's time to unite the people, man. You know, and we ahead of the curve. Uh, where I leave off at. Okay, I think I left off on executive order. So United States Republic, North America, the implementation of human rights treaties, the National Constitution for the Continental United States of America, Article 3, Section 2, that's dealing with diversity of citizenship. Amendment 5, the Liberty Clause, Amendment 4. So now we're talking about Bill of Rights.
You said Amendment 9. Amendment 9.
Oh, Amendment 9. Amendment 9. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. I hereby demand a dismissal of any and all unconstitutional sanctions, claims, or other warrants or charges or issued which are devoid of true identity, personages, a denial of due process of a trial by a jury of my own national peers, or absent of a verified and lawful indictment. So that's back to the Fourth and Fifth Amendment collectively is dealing with due process because now it's an order. Was it indictment papers by a grand jury? Was it a person that said that you did something against them under a signed affidavit, like a human being that you injured? Like, it's elements that need to take place before they can just get to, oh, you've been charged for something. But most people don't know their due process. Most people don't know their rights. So, but I'm just explaining what this, I'm kind of elaborating what that means for a due process. And a trial by your own jury. If you come in as the Moore, the 12 jury need to be split. People of your own national peers, and then the latter. It can't just be all people thinking they black, Negro, or color. That's not a jury of your own peers. You need to make sure it's people that know their culture, know international law, fez and turban up in there. You understand? So, jury of your own national peers. Or absent of a verified and lawful indictment. That's back to the Fifth Amendment or the Fifth Bill of Rights. You must be indicted for, if there ain't no indictment papers, how am I being accused? Y'all skipping steps. Will I ever?
I have a question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. That's fine.
As far as like you said, a jury of your own national peers, does that mean you get to pick your jury, or
That's how it's supposed to be.
so I get to pick the people that I want to be in my jury?
Of your own, yeah, you need to see people that reflect your citizenship, who you have allegiance to, on the jury.
It's supposed to be an active counsel.
You know what? Actually, what Mafi was saying earlier, how we need to look like Chinatown, Koreatown, because when it comes to these juries, you're actually selecting people of your community. If the people in your community don't look like you, then guess what? You're gonna get the short end of the stick, as they say. That's why we need to look like Koreatown, Chinatown, and whatnot.
Right, wearing our fez and everything, because they
Exactly.
can
So
throw
now,
NBCs up in there.
yeah. So exactly. So everyone in your community is playing a role at this point.
Right.
That's the importance.
Okay.
Precisely.
We gotta
Okay,
start the black
I have a
actors, man.
question. I got a question.
It's hard. We
What,
got a lot of black
well,
actors now.
hey, I got a question, y'all. What about what we was talking about last week about starting a fund so we can put our money together to start saving
That's
money?
coming up.
What happened with that?
That's coming up, brother. We getting into that. That's what we getting
Okay,
into.
Sheik,
Yes, sir.
It's
Yeah,
live,
it's
Sheik.
coming. We got a whole presentation. The Empress got y'all covered. We got a whole demonstration
I feel
lined
as
up.
though if we work together, we can rush property and build things and just do what we do and just take the money that we're saving, you know what I mean, to put like into that versus, you know what I
Correct.
mean, versus outright having to like, just purchase certain things or whatever. Like the
Correct.
land, everything that's on the land like belong to us. We could be able
And
to
we
just
all
pull up
have
into
to
the
take
shop
an
anywhere.
oath. Listen else.
Islam, that's the trust.
I propose that we all take an oath like now. We are all family. This money is for land purchase only. It ain't because you can't pay this or do that or something like that. We're not dipping in the bread for nothing but what the purpose of it is for.
Nothing but fixing the land. We ain't even gotta buy the land. We just gotta know where it ain't nothing being done, and then go put the paperwork on it because it ain't no money. Really in real life, since 1933, right?
Yeah, Islam to that.
It's levels.
Straight up.
There's levels
You know
to
what I'm
it.
saying? Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm already knowing, but like, I know, like, if we deep enough, can't nobody really like move us like that or whatever the case may be. We put everybody on proper notice and we just do what we supposed to do peacefully.
Yeah, that's an ideal
You know what
world. I mean? Yeah.
But I know it's ugly out here because the black actors.
Yeah, that's in a perfect world you can do that, brother. But you need bread to move, man. Money shakes shit.
No, you still need bread to do things, granted, but yeah.
Yeah. But just Brother Hassan, yeah, we finna get to that. I wanted to kind of finish where we left off, but yeah, the Empress got a whole
I didn't want to
breakdown.
go on sidetrack about that. I'm going back to mute.
That's what's up. And part my intrusion, Sheik. My bad, bro. Go ahead on with the lesson.
Oh no, it's all good. I just want to let you know we connected divinely. We're on the same page. Okay, jury of my own peers. We got that. Man, okay, so next paragraph. Wherefore all parties of interest are authorized by this writ pursuant to national and international law to honor all substantive rights and constitutional immunities reserved for and to this Aboriginal, Indigenous, free Moor, and sovereign Moor, all officials are to enlist all all available and appropriate measures to ensure and assure that all my substantive rights and constitutionally secure rights and immunities are not violated, not breached, not abridged. The sovereign national being, natural being named herein is not to be arrested nor held for detention under any colorable circumstances. You are to notify the active ministers of the Aboriginal, Indigenous, Moorish nationals of the territory. So we call them sheiks, but it's still a minister. The natural person named herein is non-obligatory and thus exempt from customs, tariffs, taxation, owner and fee, permit deception, constructs, and from any other hindrances or restriction of his or her freedoms, allodial properties, compensations, rights to travel, or freedom of movement on, in, or within any member or non-member states of the United States Union, etc. More bearer of the indigenous people's document is to be treated with all due respect and due process. Rights under the law. All available and appropriate measures are to be taken to prevent injustice, harm, false arrests, trumped up charges, or attack on natural beings, persons, property, personality, conveyance, freedoms, and or dignity. Explicit reservation and use of all rights reserved without prejudice. Now, like I think I talked about this with Larry Bay and Yazir Bay. The UCC is not something that we want to just fall in love with. It's a couple elements of the UCC that is in harmony with dealing with how you sign your appellation or simply signing all rights reserved, or under threat, duress, and coercion. But simply writing all rights reserved is what UCC 1-207308 and 1-103 is expressing. So it's not even necessary to even mention the UCC. You can just simply write all rights reserved. That is a contractual law universal statement that's saying you are reserving your rights. You don't have to put a number next to it. But those numbers is what it's expressing. You just need to be the competent Moor and understand what you're dealing with. But there's nothing to fall in love with the UCCs. Nothing cute about that.
Islam.
Islam.
Yeah.
So would I write all rights reserved my name or just all rights reserved? My appellation, I mean, or just all rights reserved.
You could do your free national, noble title, all rights reserved underneath it. Or the signature can just be all rights reserved, especially if they're trying to force fraudulent documents on you.
Right. So I don't have to
rights.
put my appellation at all. It's just all rights reserved.
That's the signature, all rights reserved. That is your signature.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to add that that's actually an acronym. You can also sign your autograph your name, and then underneath that just put ARR, all rights reserved. You can put that as well, ARR.
Okay.
That would suffice as all rights reserved as well.
Okay. Okay.
Hey,
Cool.
I got a question. So, okay, for one, I don't have that page that starts with explicit. I have all the way up into the part of dignity. So I didn't get that in my nationality paperwork.
Is it on page 6? On the following page?
No, sir. Man, I got all pages right now. I've already looked over them like 3 times, and I don't have no indent that starts with explicit. Secondly, I just want to I just kind of want to wrap my head around where it says that we're supposed to, in case, yeah, go ahead and get you a juice. In event of a situation that causes us to exercise these practices, that we're to go out and get people of the culture in the community. It sounds like some of this was written with a future with the future mindset in place, because if I'm understanding correctly, if the Moorish Science temples are not operating under this capacity, who are the people that we will go and seek out to fill those seats? And at the same time, if I'm understanding correctly, as with the understanding of the appellations and the noble titles, would it be more pinpointed to say that we would seek out Els and Bays or Alis who actually have the noble titles that give them the authority, or I think it's Bays and Alis, if I'm not mistaken, that give them the authority to govern law on the land and to dictate law on the land, and that are supposed to have a qualified nobility that expresses that they are who you can come to in a matter of law.
Yep. So the latter part of what you're dealing with is linking up with Moors that are sharp in law, having a Rolodex, a handful of Moors that are sharp in law. That's one. Two, another element what you said is, yes, the Moorish Science temples are supposed to be on civics and not just religion. It's supposed to be religion and civics. So that would be your jury in the ideal world. But the movement has been compromised since the 20s. We're, we're the new Moor with our eyes wide open, like the prophet talked about, and we're trying to get this thing back in order. But since it's not, we crawl before we walk. There's certain things that are more important who build up to get to this point. And you are right. A lot of the master teachers that created these templates, their thing was to purge, to get the people to wake up and try to mobilize. Get a fire up, get a fire up under you. This is where the truth is at. What you gonna do about it? And now, yeah. So right now we got the classes. Now we about to talk about a land fund. Now we all Moors right here, right? We doing stuff. We doing events, trying to wake the people up. But 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I didn't even know what a Moor was.
Right.
So the master teachers, this is happening. You know what I mean? But you are right. It's not. We're not at where we're supposed to be, because we need to have a pool of communities, and this stuff will start making more sense. Like, oh, okay, my jury, like the prophet in Chicago, 10,000, 15,000 more just there, right there. What you think happened if you go to trial? It's gonna be a jury of his peers. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And,
Yeah, so,
I'm asking that in respects too, because like the brother that's going through it right now, Jamal, you know what I'm saying, Rise of the Moors. This is a prime example. I'm seeing I've only been following that brother maybe about like the last year or so, but I like the brother's get down, man. He's very knowledgeable. And it's sad to see the things that he's going through, but I'm sitting there and I'm looking back and I'm saying, okay, so if the master's teachers put this into play, are the master's teachers involved in what's going on with this brother right now? And so where's his team of Moors who are practicing this, that are stepping up? Because it's kind of like, okay, let's say if you was in a different state and you were violated and it goes to social media. Let's say that they've kidnapped the phone. You don't have no way to get in contact with people. Maybe you're not in the actual vicinity to where you're in a normal county jail. You know what I mean? With access to X, Y, and Z, or however the shakedown go. And it goes, your case is in the light of the media. With this being written like this, I'm kind of thinking like, okay, the Bays and the Alis should be on guard and should be ready and should be more than willing to be like, do you need somebody? I'm here for you. And I'm wondering, is it like that, or is it, you know what I mean? Like, because shit, damn there, we on 100 years coming up now since Noble Drew Ali put this into perspective. So I'm kind of wondering, like, where's the master teacher stand at with this, like Taj Tariq Bey? And I'm not trying to cast no shadows behind none of the masters, because I got utmost respect. You feel me? But I'm just inquiring so I know. Like I say, I like to stay ready so I don't have to get ready, but I also like to be prepared. And when I'm trying to understand this and learn this as well, you know what I'm saying? Because um, it's not a game. This stuff is real. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, I just want to get further clarification.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff, man. But it puts a lot of things in perspective. Now, as far as the master teachers, all their job is to put the info out. They doing their job. I heard them, I got inspired, and I'm active. They did their job. I can't expect, because now I understand they fight, because now that I'm in it a couple of years, I've seen a lot. I've seen Moors come for reasons, try to get out of stuff, take the information that we teaching in the temple, start selling stuff, packages to people that don't know no better. I've seen a lot. And what that does, it can make you be like, man, I'm tired of this, man. But so just imagine what these master teachers going through. You know what I'm saying? They don't woke all these people up, people looking to them as these gurus, but that's not what it's about. It's about how many people was really down with the program, because you need the people. I can know all this information and be all brilliant or whatever, but if I don't got a team that's willing to be down with the play, nothing's gonna happen. And that's what ends up happening. There's nobody. They take information. Same thing with Taj. They took his information. Any master teacher you think of, they're gonna tell you about. It was these different groups of Moors. I was down with it that fell off, and there was another group, and you know what I mean. People hearts ain't right. You know what I mean. So,
And
um,
so that's kind of what I'm okay. And so I'm kind of wrapping around that point as well. Is it more so? And I don't know how to say that because I don't. I want to say this in the light of truth. It sounds cliquish,
mhm.
and I'm thinking that it should. If I'm understanding what I'm hearing, what I've been hearing
That's our
for as
problem.
long as I've been
We need
hearing,
to honor
it sounds cliquish. But what it should
brothers.
what it should be is, if something hits the media and you know that you hold this title on the land, you operating in the national capacity on this land, and you hold this title, it should be obligated. You should be obligated. It shouldn't be clicking. You should be obligated reaching out to the more that you see is in distress
Oh,
and running to his aid.
now, me personally, I can only speak for myself, right? Now, for what I mean by that, before I get into that space, um, I deal with a lot of grand sheiks.
Hmm.
I deal with Moors that don't deal with Moors, but I still deal with them, right? I deal with everybody,
Hmm.
right? Now,
Sit down. Have a
as,
sit down.
as, as far as Jamal, when he first got arrested, I was there with in the huddle with three Moors. I was part of his body politic, Rise of the Moors. For one, half his body politic got scared and they didn't want to. They just went in hiding because
Oh,
they felt like it was too much. Like the FBI and all that stuff was involved. They didn't want to. They don't have no. So they left. First of all, they left. They left him stranded. Two, I was there with a couple of the more the women, the empresses. What was the empress name? Kendra Bay, and there was another Moor that was part of their body politic from like the Caribbean. She had a real strong accent, but I was helping them. I drafted a writ. I got affidavits from 20 Moors out here and sent it in on their behalf. And I was letting them know on any Moor that's around them, they need to invoke pretty much the Council Notification and Access Manual. Make sure they ain't got no bar members attached to them. The whole nine. They was taking those 4 minutes. Something happened. It was like, nah, his wife didn't want no more help. Like, he had his wife running, like, nah, we got it from here. Like, we don't need no, we gonna do it how we gonna do it. So, hey, I, I did what I could do.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and another point, since we're not like how we're supposed to be, it's no reason to be having, like I say, I'm not advocating having no arms running down the street like that. A militia geared up. Why?
Right.
Because why? Because we're not intact. If the government comes down and be like what happened? He's in jail, right? For bear, right? You got
Yeah.
constitution. That's your right to bear arms, right? Who there? Like you say, what? Who protected him from getting arrested? We're not at we're not at the point where like I say, you can go to Japan, you can go to China. The Chinese people can arrest you. The
Right.
Chinese people can put you in their jail. Are we at that scale? No. So with other
Right.
things that we need to be putting energy towards, economics, schools, land, hospital, community,
So, oh, you live, oh, my bad, fam.
before, you know what I'm saying? So we're not ready for that. So he's high-headed, ambitious, which is nothing wrong with what he was trying to do, but there's levels to this.
Right. And that's an extreme measure that that brother had taken, but and I definitely agree with you 1,000%. But what about just on a more subtle I don't know, just a discrimination like I mean, I guess it hasn't happened, so I guess we can't really. But I'm thinking more so like the George Floyd case, and what if this brother was a nationalized Moor? You know what I mean? Do these do these titles represent the fact that we obligated to work in and help in whatever capacity that we can, um, because just hypothetically saying that, okay, well, you're supposed to go get your own people, and it's like, well, I know 7 brothers or 12 brothers that's on the call. That's all I know. But all of these brothers have jobs, families, and they may not be at the nobility of law to be able to dictate law or to argue law. And I guess I'm speaking for the Moors to come, and a Moor like myself that's in the position that I'm in right now currently, as far as just wanting to be prepared. If that was to happen, you know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of, I guess I'm just kind of just concerned for the people. Like, are we just left out there to dry? You know what I mean? Or I mean, are we just left
Can
dry
I,
out
can
there,
I, can I, can I, can I,
one second, brother. If okay, let's say it like this. Let's say if I go to New York and I get into some form of trouble, whatever the case may be, and it gets back to Moors that's on the land that's in New York. Are there Moors that are out there that hold the title Bey, Ali, or whatever the case may be, that understand this as an obligation, and me looking for people who are willing to help me? Let's say that I'm stranded and they took everything away from me. Car, I can't make it back home. Are my people who are to help me and to assist me, are they on the like we don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
I don't
what's
know. I
supposed
don't
to
know if
happen.
I'm making it clear.
No, what you're saying is supposed to back to the ideal world. But since certain things aren't in play, you exercise accordingly. You exercise at the level where we're at. That's why I say it's more important to galvanize, like we're talking about getting the land to get some economics going. Because what that does, the numbers are gonna grow. Because once people see we're getting more organized and start getting to that level, the floodgates of people's attention, like, okay, they serious. And the numbers are gonna grow, right? Now that we got the numbers, we put people on task. Oh, you're the security. Oh, you're this. You're that. You're good at that. Now we're getting that community that we're trending towards that space with the majority of our peers now. You know what I'm saying? That's all we.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm a Virgo, so I can't help but look at stuff like one thing at a time.
Right.
Somebody else might have a different gift, but that's just. I'm like, look, we got stuff to do before we get to that. But we can note what's the end goal too as we're trending and ascending and stuff like that.
Okay. And I'm not trying, like I said, I'm not trying to cast no shadows or nothing. I'm just trying to be transparent. I do, like I say, I do have a lot of questions. I come with a
yeah,
lot of questions because I want to make sure that I'm on my square correctly. You know what I mean? But I'm not trying to cast no shadows on and trying to, you know what I mean? Trying to weave no threads of
uh,
deceit. But I just want to
I
be as
understand
transparent as
exactly
possible.
what you're saying, brother. Listen, let me tell you something from the soul, brother. This ain't nothing written that I read. This is off the dome. Listen, we're up against a lot. These Slavs have done so much for centuries to get where they at right now in positions of power. Okay, so you understand the phrase like you can't love the person until you love yourself. Boom, check it. This is your family right here. These people that you on a group chat with are the people that you can depend on when it comes to this as of right now. So we have to collectively come together, get whatever we gonna get, do whatever we gonna do. And when people see our light shining, they will come. It's gonna be very hard to do missionary work. It's gonna be very hard to get our people to see the light because of universal law. Everybody don't get the light. It's only a few that's gonna get the light, bro. You have to understand that. Remember, Moth was
And
talking
me,
about
it's
the
children ain't dead and these
144th.
niggas scared.
Sit down.
Say that.
Why are you over here? Sit
You
down.
let me know, man.
You have to understand that, you know what I'm saying? Not many people are going to get the light. So we have to keep that in mind when we're doing our missionary work. It's only going to be just like Moth. Look how powerful Moth is. But you know, he touched a few brothers and they be on the Zoom the next week. You know what I'm saying? When he on the Zoom, you know, things like that are going to happen. Some of us may not get a person to get on the Zoom chat, or maybe they get on the Zoom chat and just sit there and don't say nothing and then just never come back again. You understand?
Right.
But right now, we are here right now. We can make a difference for ourselves right now.
Right.
You
Right.
understand what I'm
Okay.
saying, brother? And I know you're
Okay.
very passionate. You want to get other people involved. I get that. I am too. But I have to learn to pump my brakes and really use my third eye vision around here and scope the scene and the people that I'm dealing with and the people I'm interacting with and
Right.
socialize. Bro. Just, you know what I'm saying? That's the enemy trying to get inside you to tear you from the truth. He making you feel like, oh, what I'm doing, it ain't doing that. I felt the same way,
Right.
bro. I went through that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't mind picking up my phone and calling my chief like, yo, Mop, boom, boom, boom. And you know what I'm saying? We talk it out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Call any of us. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're here for. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, we all, as of right now, it's going to expand, but it takes time. You understand what I'm saying? And no, if you was in New York, the Moors probably, if you was stranded, they probably wouldn't give you no bread because they don't know you. You
Right.
got
Right.
a lot, like it's a Moorish sect right out here where I'm at in Virginia. Them dudes ain't with collaborating. Them dudes trying like, oh, come with us, man. That's the type of vibe they was on. I'm like, nah, I'm original to this, the Khalifa Society. I ain't know nothing
Mhm.
about Moorish science until the Khalifa Society. So who am I? Putting me on game, and then I'm gonna go with some other sheep that I don't even. Nah, I'm not doing that.
Right.
If
Right.
we all about unity and that's what I'm saying. Yo, it ain't no unity, bro. So this is the thing you gotta focus on. The Most High got his hands on your back, bro, and pushed you this way. You feel me?
Right.
Just like
Right.
me,
Right.
I learned about this through somebody else that I met at a job at the shipyard. And that young man is no longer even on the chats or nothing. But here I am. I ain't let that
Right.
deter me. You feel me?
Right.
That was the Most High using him to get to me. You feel me? Because I was dumb, deaf, and blind, bro, and I had the light. You feel me?
Right.
So I feel like all this is divine, man. We just gotta calm down, and that's why meditation is so important, man. You know what I'm saying? Our emotions get involved, you know, whether it's anger or compassion or whatever the case may be, man. We gotta stay focused. Everybody that's on this chat, including the new brother we just met, we all got a job to do for ourselves. Once we get established for ourselves, everything else will come. And I yield the floor. That's the best advice I can give you to control this war within yourself, brother, because you come with a lot of different knowledge. And now you in the Moorish science, and that's what's touching your soul right now. So you know what I'm saying? You gotta elevate and meditate, man. You know what I'm saying? And do the knowledge, man, and understand like these spirits that surround us, they try to put stuff in our head, and then our minds will have us focus on the wrong thing, man. And that
Right.
can deter us from the path in which the Most High has ordained for us. This is a path that the Most High has ordained for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
We're gonna be a small group, man, but there's power in this small group if you really pay attention. That's what I'm getting from this, man. And I use the floor.
That's fine. Nanel?
So, I understand where you're coming from to where, like, if you're in different parts, you know, let's say we call it the United States, right? In different parts, where would you get the help? I think what Abdullah is doing is he reaches out to a lot of different body politics and different Moors. And don't they do like a convention where they try to get people together? Right? So I think that's where it's at, is getting different grand sheiks together at the convention to be like, hey, this is the body politic that we have. And if anything were to go down, we need to make sure we know these Moors around different areas. That way, if there is any kind of trouble, they can come to aid and support. But that would be up to the local Moors, right, from the grand sheiks bringing people together in their area to protect the people. That's my take on what I think about that. Because yeah, you have pockets where there's more that aren't unified. And that's what we're working on locally right now. And then if every body politic can do that in different areas, I think that's where we can fix that problem.
No, I appreciate I appreciate both of y'all's wisdom, and that sounds like a plan. And that's kind of where my head was like okay, like where can I rest my mindset to be like, okay, cool. But so what it sounds like is stay connected in the community, and eventually we can build like a connection or a thread line to where I can be like, Mafia, I'm finna go to Mississippi. Do you know any Moors in Mississippi? Can you let them know I'm in Mississippi? If I need any help, I'll be able to reach out to these brothers.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
cool.
knowing the grand sheets to be able to call upon when you're visiting.
Okay. Okay, cool. Alhamdulillah. Thank you.
Yeah, Islam. So since I'm gonna swiftly go to the next element. Oh, and Islam to Indigo Bay. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
So this is for Yazir Bay. I think this would be insightful for everybody else too. Dealing with credit card people, mortgages. This is an example of a writ. Oh, there we go. I'm like, dang. So this is a template. Right? This is a writ. This is an affidavit. This is an example of a heading of an affidavit, a template. Of course, you can do it on your own, right? So you're going to say, let's say we're dealing with a mortgage company. This applies for credit cards as well. You're going to put, let's say we're dealing with a mortgage company, you're going to put the name of the bank. You're going to be coming from the position of your free national, but you're dealing with the matter of the straw. That's what ex relation means in law. Ex relation in law, you have information as it pertains to this person, but it's not you. It's a person. It's a corp. Well, I'm not going to assume everybody know, but a person, it could be a trust, it could be a corporation, but it's not a natural person. All right. Not
Like
a
an
human being.
entity?
It's an entity.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So in response, so we're dealing with the mortgage. So we're assuming you have a trust established already. This, you're responding to the mortgage or the bank people as a trustee of a trust, whether it be of a temple trust in the heads, the sheiks, etc., or the trustees to deal with these banks, or you have a family trust and you're still a trustee. It's the same principle.
Mm.
All right. So in response, insert the trust name, estate. So the reason we're doing latitude and longitude because Western Crenshaw, Figueroa, these are municipal corporation names that they gave to coordinates of latitude and longitude. So you're going to put the actual latitude and longitude when you're making a claim to a land, whether it be adverse possession, whether it be whatever our strategy or your strategy may be. You want to make sure you're claiming it and putting it in trust. So
Question to that, just to the land, or should I ask after, or should like you usually do, just ask while we going through it?
you go ahead. Yeah, let it
As
fly.
far as latitude and longitude, are we getting the latitude and longitude of a specific place, or
A square. So it's called a parcel.
a
So
parcel?
land,
Right.
a parcel of land has it's like a square, latitude and longitude.
Mhm.
Such and such north degrees, longitude, such and south, right? And it's a measurement of an area. And not only the land, but you can go up. All that
Oh,
show
wow.
up. Like that whole, you know what I mean?
So currently where I'm at, there's a latitude and like instead of using, like you said, an address, which would be a municipal place, I could use the latitude and longitude of the location.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Especially when you're defending something, when you're responding to banks and responding to foreclosure people, and it's potential to go to court.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reason why you want to be this accurate in your beginning stages of your correspondences with these people, because these are going to end up being exhibits in court later.
Okay.
And then the principles that you're standing on are going to be consistent. That you let these people know, right? So you're gonna reference the loan number that they saying, the FHA number, whatever they're calling it, and then so this is an affidavit of fact. Let me look at the chat real quick. Let me see. Corporate sales territory. All right.
That's on,
So
please. Thank you.
this is a writ. This is an affidavit. It's an affidavit of discovery. So it's discovery means you're saying, show me how I committed a crime. So this is not. This is like a loan type of thing. So now you're saying, show me how I owe you. Give me the proof that I entered into a contract with you, a lawful one. Show me that you gave me consideration, which is the lingo for contract law. Show me the account. Show me the briefcase. Show me the signatures of all people involved in the contract. For example, these are things that you'll be asking for. So let's go through this. So dear, etc. In order to come to a peaceful resolution in regards to any alleged foreclosure, eviction notices, or payment owed, I am exercising my constitutional and contractual rights to discovery on this matter. It must be fully disclosed that I, insert free national name, am Aboriginal, Indigenous, Moorish American, distinguished and not to be held for surety for whatever the straw is. I am the natural person who currently inhabits and is occupying the living quarters, corporately referred to as whatever its corporate street name, whatever. Put the land parcel ID, parcel number, geographical location, like we said, longitude, latitude. I have received mailing communication from your agency regarding the alleged loan number, whatever that may be. Please mail to me the following certified and verified official copies of loan-related documents and answer to the following questions so that I may make a physical inspection and said documents. Hold on, let me let somebody else up in here. Some people in here. Why I say?
Gotta wash up, okay, baby girl? Really
Well,
quickly.
oh, there we go. Okay. All right. So that I may make a physical inspection of said documents and answers to verify whether or not you or your agency has a valid claim or interest in my ancestral estate.
Yeah.
1. Produce the original promissory note front and back associated with the loan from your agency, entity, or person to the borrower, quote unquote. 2. Produce any aligns. Aligns means attachments to the contract or promissory note, bill of exchange, and or promissory note front and back, complete with any affixations or allocations attached to the borrower's promissory note and endorsements. 3. Produce all bookkeeping journal entries associated with the loan to the borrower. So that means money was given on this date. That it should have been indicated. It's a ledger. Where's the ledger?
You seen the book in.
Hey, Mom, I got a
yeah.
question. So is that for the original creditor or the person that buys the debt and tries to come after you? Which one should I give that
Whoever
affidavit
coming
to?
after you. Whoever coming after you.
Okay, so I got some things on my credit, so I can use that in like the dispute or whatever. Just word it like that in a dispute.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Peace.
Yep. Just
you know what I'm saying? Like I did the thing with the wrong address and all that because of the UCC codes. It got taken off my credit, but a couple of things bounced back. Like another person bought it or whatever, and they came back again. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So this is very important for me.
So you need to be raising the question of identity theft at that point, because who is unlawfully using your information against your
correct, because I didn't give
authorization?
my written consent. I put that in the dispute, like, and they be ignored. I'm gonna be honest with you. It took me a minute to get some things off my credit report. They be like straight ignoring all the laws and all the UCC stuff that you be putting on there in the dispute. You know what I'm saying? But I know, like, I don't have to pay somebody to fix my credit. If I study hard, I can word my words right and fix my credit. I did it myself. You know what I'm saying? But it's like another company are buying and they bounce it back on it. Just
That's
a couple,
identity theft.
not everything. That's identity theft. Okay, okay, Larry.
And
Okay.
and they can't reassign your debt to somebody else. That's a violation of
Right.
contract. If they don't disclose, especially if they don't disclose you with a fact.
But if I don't know that, they definitely will do it. Correct, Sheik?
Yeah, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
Okay.
You gotta
That's
call
your,
them on it.
that's your
Okay.
defense though. That's your defense on the fraud. You basically calling out the fraud if anything happened. Like, you know what I'm
Correct.
saying? Yeah.
Now, last time I called Experian, like I talked to someone on the phone and just was like, rah, rah, rah. And they was like, oh shit. And they took everything off. So maybe I got to call them again instead of doing a dispute online with the computer. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, don't deal with the computer, bro.
Just call the people straight up, Larry, and just do okay.
Man, typically I go right to the CEO of the company. I go right to the CEO. He's the one in charge of everybody. So I go right to him with it. Since he took an oath. He's the only one in the company, him and the CFO, they took an oath. So I'm putting everyone on oath on blast. Fraud. You see what I'm saying? But
You put me on something else.
Man, there's some other steps, man. I can tell you about kind of like offline that I have that will cook them. If they ever use my name or any derivative of my name, they would literally cook. They fry, bro.
Okay.
Where I leave off here, let's see, number 4. So produce the deed of trust associated with the loan to the borrower. Clearly identify who the creditor, grantor is, and the debtor, grantee. So we're dealing with in the context of a mortgage with this particular template. So when you look up any mortgage, when you go to the county clerk's office, you look up the mortgage, it's called a deed of trust because that's what it is. It is a trust. But the grantor, the trustee, and the beneficiary are the elements of a trust. But the grantor is asleep and don't know they're the grantor. And they think they're the borrower. The language on the actual document, we did a demonstration on this a couple times where I looked up a property for the sake of a teaching tool to show something that was on the county clerk's office of I think Anaheim. And I showed a deed of trust. And the borrower wasn't like this. The borrower was in quotations, but they were the grantor. The trustee was the sister affiliated people with the loan company. Escrow. The escrow company was the same outfit of the bank people, and they're called the trustee. And then the beneficiary was the bank again. So these are fraud. This is fraud because once you know trust law, you can spot the fraud. Like how is the grantor and the beneficiary got the same interest? How is the borrower, which is who created the trust, thinking they got to pay something when they the person that got the whole instrument created, which generated finance for the bank, which generated finance for the mortgage company, for the loan officer, for the originator, right? All these people getting paid these millions of dollars because they're real estate agents and stuff like that. You got that whole thing popping off because you created this document. You willing to pay this monthly for 15 to 30 years, adjusted or fixed, right? You just don't know you really the grantor. You just don't know that once you signed off on it, it's done. There's no foreclosure. It was a closing already, so it can't be a foreclosure. It was a closing, right? So it's just for lack of knowledge. So the reason I'm going that highlighted with this part of the deed of trust, because for one, it's imperative to get a trust going, for one. Because you see, this is an example as if you had a trust. You can't even respond to the bank unless you come in from a trustee position, as a community of Moors, or as you're the trustee of your own family trust. This is not just one person talking to the bank. That's one thing. Another thing I'm saying is the mortgage is a deed of trust. And once you realize that, you'll unfold anything that's binding. There's no binding contract because everything was done in fraudulent. because you're ignorant and they took advantage of it.
Islam, I have a question in regards to a statement where you just said. So we would have to be. Let me get that, baby. Thank you. I'm not exactly sure how you just said it right now, but you have to be a trustee or a body politic. What did you just say? I'm sorry.
So you have to
To
be coming from
even deal with the bank, to even deal with it, you can't deal with them as a regular person.
right, because your position is a claim in an estate. In order to have an estate, that means you have a trust set up. So you're coming
Right.
as a position as a trustee.
You have to be a family trust or a temple trust or
Yeah, community trust. Yeah, or temple.
community trust. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get the correct verbiage. But
Mhm.
in the event, I'm part of a community trust, but in the event I make a family trust as well, and I already have a mortgage. Let's put the potty down, please. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. Baby girl trying to help me out. I I make a family trust, and I have a property, that's already in mortgage. Before I knew about this knowledge, would I be able to? Would that family trust be able to take over that mortgage, or because I already know that that's even kind of fraudulent, right? Like to be under a mortgage, like we don't really own the property or anything or we really don't own it, right? As far as the contract that's been drawn up, that's all fraudulent as well. Would I be able to correct that coming in as a family trust?
Yes. It only if whoever straw name is on
On
the
the
deed of
mortgage?
trust as being a borrower,
Mhm.
that person, that human being will have to, for
Be
one, you
the
have to create, for one,
trustee?
you're gonna have to create a trust, right?
Mhm.
For one. And
Right.
then you would be the trustee. Then whoever has that would be like, I'm selling it to the trustee, like a bill of sale. I think in California
Ah,
it's called a grant deed or a quick claim deed in California or something like that,
okay.
or a grantor deed or whatever. But it's basically like when you sell a car, it's basically like
I would say,
bill of sale,
So it's
basically.
It's
Yeah.
a quick claim.
that's
It's
a
a quick claim.
perfect example because if the mortgage is currently in my wife's name and I create a trust and I'm the trustee, she sells that deed to the trust.
Yes.
Am I hearing that correctly? Or am
Yes.
I?
Yes. Yeah. That's how I
You,
go.
you're gonna do
Okay.
what is called a quick claim. It's a quick claim.
A quick claim.
Yeah, quick claim deed. So now you're moving your name off of it and replacing it with the trust.
Right. And that's overall what I'm looking to do as far as like in certain,
And, and
books
see,
I
and
read.
see, and see, the catch all of this is that if the trust is private, you in a more of a supreme position because they have no jurisdiction over a private trust. You
So
see what I'm
so
saying?
I,
So if the stock market crash, what's up with the trust? The trust still hold its value or what, Larry?
Yeah, I mean, the catch all. I mean, well, let me say this: you can have as many trusts
yeah,
as you
go
want.
go
So you
go
want to
get the
play the
crackers.
game and use the trust according to whatever situation that you involved in. If let's say you trying to move property into a trust, the win situation is to have a private trust, one without an EIN number, one not connected to the system whatsoever, but it's a legitimate entity that's operating in commerce. You get what I'm saying?
A question for you, Larry Bay, or once you finish.
Without the EIN. Oh, you gotta go deeper than that, Larry. What you mean without the EIN?
Well, as soon as you
Can't be
go
a
get an
statutory
EIN,
entity.
yeah. As soon as you go get an EIN number, now you're attached to the system. You see what I'm saying? Or another way of doing it is getting a 98 number. But you can actually create a private trust and then register mail it to yourself, and then that 9-digit register mail number can be your identifier. That
Mm.
could be your
Well,
trust master file number. Is
or
the
And that's the
9-digit
difference
number on the
in a private trust and a statutory trust. That's what I wanted to ask.
A statutory trust is the one that's created, let's say, by an attorney or a
Through the
lawyer
government or
per
any,
se, and then you
yeah.
go get an EIN number for it or something like that. So it's in their system. That's the
Mhm.
statutory trust. But
Okay.
a private trust is one that's not connected to the system whatsoever. And
Bro,
and also too, there's case law that says that the trust is that this is why you need to proclaim your free national name, because the trust, the situs of the trust follows the grantor of the trust. So if you private, the trust is private as well.
mm,
And sites is just location. So I know most people know you. I know you saying sites. I'm not going to assume everybody knows what that means, but
Oh, I'm
I
that's
sorry.
don't.
just
Yeah.
I didn't know what you meant by when you said that. Actually,
that's the
I didn't even hear
location.
him say that.
Um, but what I wanted to say too is you say you don't have EIN, you can get an identifying number because as soon as the borrower, whoever's the borrower, sells it to the trustee of that
Uh-huh.
trust,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna get that recorded
No, thank you.
you're gonna get that recorded at the city hall level of the county, and the city, both. The city hall of the municipality and the county of where the municipality is at. You're gonna record the fact that it's in trust now. This
Right.
parcel is in trust. All they're gonna see on the public is your declaration of trust. They're not gonna see your minutes, your bookkeeping, all your private affairs. So it
Right.
stays private. But if anything ever has to go to court for any reason, you have books and you have like, oh look, we had a vote. Like I was voted the trustee. The beneficiary is this. I'm doing this on the behalf of this. I was elected. You know what I mean? Like you have books, so it's important to keep your books together
Yeah. That's
and make
called
sure your
minutes, guys. That's called minutes.
minutes.
Minutes of the trust minutes.
Yeah. So even your trust fund, a trust fund, all that means is that you're keeping books of okay, this money is for the benefit of the beneficiary. We have this much in the account. I got a transactional sheet with withdrawals and deposits. Everything our people want US Bank to do and Bank of America and Chase, you gotta do it for yourself.
Like a family bank.
Yeah, you're your own banker now. We're private
Yeah.
bankers. And
So
that
with a trust, not a whole life policy. Like I heard elder brothers telling me about a whole life policy when you become the bank. That's what a lot of people did. I had an elder tell me that. So you're saying a trust is better than getting a whole life policy and doing that same thing, becoming your own bank?
You could do both of them.
Yeah, you
Both.
can do both.
Yeah, you can do both. But what has higher power is the fact that you're your own banker. And you'll have instructions where that money that's being generated from your life and policy gets funneled into the trust. Now it's protected
Mhm.
for the benefit of the
Enhanced, okay.
beneficiary.
Mhm.
It's all just language of the contract.
Mhm.
A trust is just a contract. We still talking trust law and contract law is the same thing.
So does the trust builds interest that you put bread in there?
No, the interest gets built with your life insurance policy, but you're saying all the assets and all profits is under the jurisdiction of the trust. So now it's under contract where your beneficiaries reap
There
the
we go.
benefit of that now because you said so in contract. That's all you're doing is just
You don't own it.
yeah, you don't own it. You just directing traffic for who this, you know, and now it's in the jurisdiction of its own.
If you don't want to own.
Yeah, and also, guys, also, as Mafi said, now you're constitutionally protected, right? Because under Article 1, Section 10, no state shall impair the obligation of a contract.
Exactly.
So once you create a contract, no matter with with you between you and the entity or you and another loved one or whatever per
You're
se,
doing that
it's
kind
a
of cool.
contract and they can't violate that.
Right. Now you're protected under the law of the land for having competence. That's the contract clause. That's like how you got the supremacy clause for Article 6. When Larry Bay was talking about the nickname of that is called the contract clause. The contract is the law. As long as no violations in contract law, it's a two sound mind. A minor can't be a party to a contract. It's consideration. As long as you know the elements of contract law 101, you in a good spot for having that sovereign mind state. Because now I want to be a private contractor. I got skills. I got, you know what I mean? You get into more of an entrepreneur space and doing your own books and That's more respected.
I have a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So if someone already has a mortgage in their straw name, and if you do a quick claim
So
deed,
just are those?
does that mean that you already have to, like, 'cause when you have a mortgage, do they already give you the deed and everything? How does that work? Like, how can you transfer that if you're still paying off the loan? Like, will they not hand that to you until you're done paying the loan? Or do they hand it to you when you start the mortgage to be able to do the quick claim deed? Because, right, you need to have the deed in order to do that.
So what's gonna happen is called an adverse. It's called a You're making an adverse claim. So that means you're making a position. So when that happens, what's gonna happen is they're gonna be like, oh, we're gonna put you in pre-foreclosure then. Right? That's what and what happens is it has to go to a court based on principles now. So in law, it's contract law. Pursuant to this, and this, I need consideration. Like what we're reading right now,
Mhm.
that's why we're reading this.
Mhm.
Because they have to answer these questions. The promissory note. Show me who the grantor was. Show me what account you got the money from. Verify the property because that's what a mortgage is. It's property.
Mhm, mhm.
That's why
It's
we're
a
going
contract.
Yeah, we're talking to the banks. That's what we're acting. You know what I mean?
So you have to go to court in order to do with it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You have to.
And to pretty much say that this is fraud.
This is fraud.
And so then you can move it to your private trust. Once
You're gonna do that first.
first?
You're gonna do that first
Okay.
because that's your whole position in court is that it's part of an estate
Mm.
and the fact that the original contract wasn't binding. So I have the highest claim.
Mm.
They call it first in time, first in line. You actually have a legitimate claim. Their claim wasn't legitimate because their
Mm.
contract wasn't fraud. So therefore it wasn't binding.
So put it together first,
Yeah.
and then you approach the court.
Then yeah.
I have a question as well. In creating that private trust, as Larry Bay was saying, is it similar to like just creating this affidavit or this writ? We put it in a structured order. It could be on any type of paper. Be careful. Or yeah, just being in some type of order, and that's our trust.
Trust.
Or do we need witnesses to that trust?
No,
Kind of
well,
like with the proclamation.
well, another thing too. If you're going to do a private trust, right? Now,
Mhm.
this is not legal advice, but you can just do, like, let's say you want to execute the trust.
Mhm.
You're not going to use a notary. What you're going to do is use the terminology from 28 USC 1746. That's without the United States, right? And that's an unsworn declaration. And that still has the same weight in law as you using a notary. So this keeps you free and clear out of their jurisdiction. Because the minute you go use a notary, you're still falling under their jurisdiction. You still fall under the democracy and all that other things. And that you still using, let's say, a notary per se is still, I'm trying to think
Putting
of,
you in their jurisdiction because you're using
it's still exactly. So this
using
is
their
where
entity.
you use the 28 USC 1746. And when you sign, you're gonna sign in red, but you also want to use a thumbprint. That's the most highest seal on the land, is your thumbprint.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
Hold
So
on,
you
hold
want to
on.
sign it.
So, Larry, what you saying that does an allodial title fall into play with that? Like, far as what I'm trying to ask you is like, if you don't got a allodial title in place, does that mean this trust or whatever or the land or whatever you own is none and void? Like, what you got to do, like, as far as that allodial title is concerned, bro?
Man, that's a whole nother hand. That's
Because
well, part of
cause
it.
only two
Baby
states
steps, huh?
offer allodial titles.
Yeah,
Only two
Melodia.
states
But see,
offer it.
look, the reason why. See, look, we got to go back into history now. The reason why people had owned their lands free and clear because we had lawful money at that time. We're
Gold
no
and
longer
silver.
using lawful money, right?
Correct. It's a
But
promise to
this is a
pay. Ain't no
catch.
gold back in it.
But this is a catch-all now, right? Financially, gold is now considered a tier one asset, And 46 out of the 50 states now allow you to use gold and silver to settle debts. So there is a way to get allodial title back if you were to use lawful money to buy off your property or whatever you're using. But if you're using Federal Reserve notes, you know what I'm saying? That's you can't buy a debt with a debt, as they say. Or how does the saying go? You
See,
can't.
but that's the thing because it's really
So
it's really more about you being able to defend it. Like how you gave an example, like how we had the allodial titles. We had the
Right.
allodial titles because we had clans and tribes at this time, which means it was people willing to defend it. We had structure. It wasn't no foreigners coming up in there. That was our jurisdiction for real, right?
correct. Now they got nuclear weapons and drones that ain't even got to look at you and shoot you from 4,000 feet in the air. Like shit is different now.
Right, exactly. So, like in the ideal world, in principle, allodial title just means this is our land, and an organized body or government put claim under it, and we're nationalizing the land. Right. So that's not ideal because we're so fractured, right? So at best, what we could do is have stuff where it's not tied to a mortgage, and it's probably going to be once a year. What they call it, property taxes once a year. That's being realistic.
Well,
Out,
also, oh, I'm sorry. Also, being private is that you're going to be dealing with private, let's say, private money as well. So a private banker, more than likely, you're going to be using private instruments or private money, lawful money. So that's another way. Once again, having that private trust is to conduct your affairs. Because remember, private and public do not mix. It's like oil and water. So if you're in the private, you don't want to bring anything from the public into that private space at all. So the way you're going to structure your affairs is that in the private, you're going to deal with only lawful money or barter and trade, whatever the case may be, but you're not going to be using, let's say, Federal Reserve notes per se.
So
Larry,
gold and silver is
hey,
still
Larry.
currently lawful money, right?
Yeah, it's lawful money. 46 out of the 50 states now consider it. You can actually use it. In fact, there some states now sell what is known as gold back notes. I have a few of them myself. Gold back notes where their treasuries are producing these gold. It's a note laced in 24 karat gold. And you can use this as money in the system. You see what I'm saying? Now you can let's say you have a $5,000 credit card debt and you want to settle it. Okay, well if I use my gold back notes, I just use lawful money. Therefore, there's this so-called quote unquote debt is dead in the water now.
It's gone.
It's gone because I use lawful money to extinguish it.
Okay, so Larry, I got a question for us that's stuck in the matrix, right? Okay, you said you can't pay debt with debt. Okay, so basically, everybody that's on this chat, they use debt to pay debt, whatever they paying for, whether it's groceries or whatever. I ain't saying bills because some more are in tune to certain things more so than myself. But use debt to pay debt, like say groceries, all this stuff. So basically, they got us back in the corner. We're dependent on that promissory note
Well, as Mafia was
to
saying,
do business.
as Mafia was saying earlier, right? He was saying that we are the true creditors, right? And when let's say you have a house note, you already pay for the house when you use your signature. Okay, so look, we're gonna use some common sense here, right? So we all know that we're connected to gold, right? So what is the abbreviation for gold? AU. What's the abbreviation for authorized representative? AU. What is the abbreviation for, let's say, autograph? AU. And what are the mechanisms for producing a contract for you to get into a contract? They need your Hancock. They need your signature. They need your autograph to go. The autograph is what gives the paper life itself, right? So when you sign a promissory note, by you pledging your energy, your life force energy to that contract, you just gave that piece of paper millions of dollars worth of value. So now when you hand that over to that banker per se, you just deposited your promissory note into their institution. So you loan them money. So the
So,
fraud.
question real quick, like, isn't that still part of their structure? What you saying though? Like,
Correct. Like
you know what
I'm
I'm
saying,
saying?
like they got us back in the corner. We using something that has no value to pay them back. They basically we're making it of value. Like you said, when you get a loan, you're the one making the money fucking real because you're paying this mortgage for this crib or you're paying this car note for this car. You feel what I'm saying? So what we need to do is buy precious metals, gold and silver. We need to put our money together and buy the metals, buy the silver and gold.
But it's
instead
back
of
to what
worrying
Mops
about
is
the
saying
money.
too. Like, it's the collective of the people is what we even make what it is. Like, you know, this is what it is. This is what we use
Exactly,
in
and
our
we're a
nation.
small
This is
group,
what that
so
is.
we gonna have to grip our ass cheeks and do what we gotta do so we can survive. If this is
Let me,
gonna work,
can I interject? Let me interject real
man,
quick.
man, you can speak.
And then,
Hell yeah, you can interject. Shit,
and then
excuse me.
the Empress at 103 has a demonstration. At 103, she's gonna start her demonstration. But I do want to say this. Like I was telling, I think it was brother Justin, Yazir Bey.
Mm.
I think it was yesterday. Yeah, gold and silver coin, that's lawful money. We get that. But realistically, it's whatever everybody's bartering for. If I got a bunch of bricks of gold, but I want something that somebody got and they only accept the paper, my gold is useless.
Well,
Or I know how to farm myself. I'm just giving like the options. Like if we have a community where we're farming and we can growing our own food, we can growing cotton to make clothes. We got infrastructure where we build some houses. Now we're not caring about the paper because we have everything it takes to sustain life. So now we don't even need to use the paper. That's another side of it. That is really that black and white because it's not
It's
that
what
many
we
people.
make. It's what we make as value, right?
Yeah, it's a barter. Whatever people are taking for barter.
It's an energy exchange.
Yeah, energy
Or
exchange.
even
Yeah.
build our own
medium of
crib, build
exchange.
our own temple, build our own temple. Like, don't hire a contractor, raise the money, buy the materials, and we all collectively build the temple ourselves with knowledge from everybody that's in this chat. Like, we have to not depend on the corporate states of America for nothing. Nothing. Not even driving a car. Nothing. You understand what I'm saying? The reason they ain't fucking with the Amish people, because they don't fuck with them. They not driving no cars. They not buying their clothes. They not eating their food. They not doing none of that. That's where we need to get, respectfully.
That's the end game. That's the answer where the paper don't matter no more. Is if we at that level. Because we have a community where everything coming from the earth that we need. We don't need paper. So we need paper right now because we don't got that. So it's either that. But like I say, if most people, if you still going into the city to be industrious, that's just what it is. Like that's how you you can get stuff with that. The paper will get you stuff right now because everybody's blind faith is involved with it. You know what I mean? So
This is what the people use as
yeah,
currency
yeah. But we
for
still want to have a
the
backup
masses.
plan. We want to have a backup plan just in case all this stuff collapse at the same time too.
Mm.
That I'm also saying that we want to get our own stuff going and be able to operate as if we don't need it. But as long as people is of value, we can navigate and use it for our advantage. We can still do that too. But at least we have a community just in case things go left field. But like I say, nobody's accepting gold and silver that I know. Like, let me get your house. I got a couple bricks.
That's what I was going. That's what I was going
I
to
want to
ask.
buy that
Like,
house.
who got gold and silver like that?
Let me get that car. I mean, I got about 4 bricks in the garage. Can I get that?
Put your feet in, please.
That you know what I'm saying? It's not happening. That's not the reality of the times we're living in. So we have to be realistic too. Also remember, when you have a trust and you do have gold and silver, you can create bonds. You can create negotiable instruments that are backed by these
Exactly.
instruments and through trust. That is what it's about. If you're going to use it in that sense, it's not really about So we just want to know what we're doing.
A bond wouldn't be of their jurisdiction as well. Is that something that was created before the corporation was created?
No, we will be creating a bond. Like so, your estate will create a negotiable instrument that's actually backed by something.
Mm.
That, yeah, but you're talking about the bond that they create aren't really backed by nothing. It's kind of it's a fraudulent thing. Because
Okay,
they,
okay.
yeah.
But, hey,
Okay, so let me give the floor to Empress 9L, and we're gonna go over
I'm still
the
on the
community,
meeting. That's why I was trying to text you.
the community land trust. Let's see here. Okay, everybody can see the screen where it says community land trust. Let me know if everybody can see the screen or does it still say the old screen?
Are you good? We see it.
Community land trust. Okay, all right, you got it.
Okay. Right. Peace and love, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nana L. So I know last week we spoke about getting some land. So Mafi and I have been talking on how we could pretty much make this vision come to life. So I put together like something more visual with some calculations for you guys, a little like agenda of maybe some things we can, kind of talk about. And this is open. This is just an idea. And it's open. But this is based on like some things that we've looked at in the past and just talking to different people and just our own research. So yeah, let's get through it. So, a Khalifa Society Community Land Trust Project, crafting the future of sustainable living. So, this is what we're going to go over. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's our agenda. So, we're going to introduce the project. What is the goal? We're going to introduce a live auction that's going on that if anyone wants to join on to kind of see how that goes, we can do that. We're going to go over some realistic calculations on how we can save up or fundraise for this project. How can you participate as an investor to raise funds for this project? What are the requirements? What is our idea of maybe getting some land and putting it together? How do we get started? What are the checks and balances with transparency? How do we plan to do the land research? And what are other organizations we can connect with for assistance in making this happen? Get to the next slide, please. All right, so we as Khalifa Society are searching for land to put in Khalifa Society's land trust, right? Today's topic has been about trust and why it's important to put it there to protect, right? And the reason why we want to do this is to benefit the members of the community. Those would be the beneficiaries, right? We put in the community land trust. So our vision is to gather the finances to purchase land through various forms of contributions, which will go over some of the ways that you can participate in the vision of affordable housing for the Moorish communities in California, because that's we're going to be working locally. And, who knows? We can always expand, but right now we're going to focus in over here and see how we can kind of get it started. Go to the next slide, please. You use the arrow too. All right, she moves out of the so I can see. All right, so what's our goal? So this is just numbers we're kind of just putting out. But if anyone wants to, throw any ideas, perfectly fine. So the goal we had in mind was 20,000. And let's say we had 10 families participate in this, right? We raised 20,000 to attend a land auction in California. Purchase a big amount of land, maybe 10 to 20 acres or more, depending what's available at the auction. That'd be up to us to do the research. And then if we raise more than 20,000, that would be funds to develop affordable housing or the temple or whatever else we want to build that, right? The schools, healing centers, right? Ideally, within this area, we would want to have a temple and community garden where we can all meet to continue the studies that we're doing, also to hold classes for the community. Temple is usually where the kids go to school at too. And then to have a community garden, that way, we will have abundance of food. If we can get like 10 to 20 acres, each family could have their own acre of land, right? Where you can have a house, have your community garden or your own personal garden. So that's kind of how we drew it up. I put up 2 websites right here. Maybe we could pull it up. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of tax auctions or tax sales, but there is one coming up for LA on April. It's going to be in April. This is an old one that they had last year. We've attended about 1 or 2 auctions and we've seen pretty much they auction out homes, but they also auction out a lot of land. And we've seen a variety of like purchases where it came from like 2,000, maybe to like 20,000, 80,000, right? But that's really up to whoever bought it, their due diligence. So it'd be up to us or whoever wants to participate in searching for the land to do the due diligence of like, hey, this is what we found. Let's come together and let's piece up on this property right here so we can start building. And the reason why they have these sales is really because they just want to collect property taxes because these properties, like, taxes are being paid on it. So that's why they have these tax sales. Okay, go for it, please. Any questions so far?
Would one person have to be in California to be a participant in finding the land or whatever the case may be? Or is that you
So-
can do it online too?
Yeah, so what I was planning on doing is pretty much to get everyone up to speed on how to do the research for the land. All of this we can do over Zoom. We can look at videos together. We can go over the parcels or the APNs. We can plug them in to like the local government sites. There's different softwares that I've used. One of them called PropStream or ReGrid to kind of get the dimensions to see what's going on with the land, who previously owned it. Like there's so many ways we can go about it. So it'd really just be going through it together and like learning so we can do the research. But yeah, all of it can be online. Online, in person, we could do like a double whammy kind of thing. But yeah, so this is a more up to date. So yeah, they're gonna have an online auction. They used to have in-person auctions. I know they do that like in Texas, but out in California, they're more online now. So they're having one in April 2025. And they noticed that there's a need for housing products or projects. So if this is a space that we're getting into, is getting land and doing a housing project for the community, this is like a good time to start doing that because they realize that there needs to be more affordable housing, sustainable buildings, mixed use communities. And so that's why they're holding this too. It's going to be on Government Ease or GovEase, which is the website where we can do the bidding for the auction. But they said that they're going to put a list of properties starting this month. I looked up on the website. I haven't seen the list yet, but usually they'll give you like a month span of time to look through all the properties or land to do your due diligence, which we can get into like a little bit more. But that's kind of the idea, is to maybe attend the first auction so everyone can get an idea of like what it looks like. Can you go forward, please? So we kind of just threw some numbers together just to kind of like gauge it to see like, how it looked like. So let's say if we were to raise $20,000. Let's say we did it in a 2-year span with 10 investors, right? It can literally be with 10 investors, $2,000 per person. So just whenever you can make that up, let's say if you have it today, cool. You've invested into this land. Or if you need a little bit of time, it could be like a monthly payment for 2 years. We just do the 2-year mark so we can do our research and kind of get, our feet wet in doing the land research. Because it does take time. We don't want to just buy anything, right? We got to test the soil. We got to, do the zoning and stuff. There's a lot that goes into a project like this. And there's other ways that we can get into this too, but this is just kind of to map it out. To make it, more feasible for everybody. Like if you're willing to participate. Can you go to the next one?
Mention the month.
Oh, sorry. $84 a month for 24 months. So you could either put in 2,000 or you can do a monthly plan of $84 a month for 2 years.
That's
This
beautiful.
is just if only we were putting the funds in. This doesn't include
Correct.
fundraisers. It doesn't include other donations when we're talking and doing missionary work. This is just if it's coming from us for the 10 investors. So there's other ways that we can put funds into raising the 20,000. This is just, like I said, it's just numbers of 10 people.
10 people, 10, like we got 12 people on the call. If put 10 to 12 of us, 10 to 12 of us did $80 a month for the next 2 years. We'll have 20,000 for land. I ain't gonna spoil. She got some more.
Was there a question?
If there's any question, we can
Yeah, I have a question. Can we make sure the people that are intertwining with us with this, because this is beautiful. I love what I'm seeing. Can we make sure that there are more, that they're on the same time that we're on, and we don't deal with the Slavs or deal with the people that are against us in this specific thing? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, so we do have like some requirements for people to participate as an investor. So we'll kind of go into that. So that way we can kind of understand the mind frames of whoever's going to be investing in this, because we're going to be living like in pretty much close proximity with each other, like working together, right?
Yes, yes. But I'm talking about, like you said, you have to get land surveyors. Those people, I hope that they would be on the same mindset that we're on. That's what I'm saying. Like the people to survey the land and investigate to make sure the land is good for planning and things of that nature. Or are we going to do that ourselves?
Well, I know when it comes to land, and it comes to dealing with like the county or let's say the city, depending where we buy the land at, they have certain zonings. Like it's a conversation with the city, and there's certain like requirements. Just this is from my knowledge, right? There's certain requirements in order to have certain projects going on. So it'd be a conversation with them. They're like, hey, we need to survey the land because even like the foundation of the home, certain things can get affected with the soil, building the home on it. So that's why they usually survey the land for that purpose, like the soil, but also survey the land so we know what's ours, right? Where are the marks? What's yours and what's ours? And that's really why we survey and put tags around the land. So that way, if anyone crosses to the property, we're like, this is the survey. This is what we have in our survey. This is our part of the land. That way it's like documented too. You know what I mean?
Islam.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So let's say if $84 a month doesn't work or $2,000, like, you don't want to do that, right? There's other ways that you can participate as an investor to help raise funds. So we brainstormed on doing Khalifa Society fundraisers. And you participate in some of those fundraisers. It's like you have like your own little account. So let's say we provide a log, a fundraising log, right? For the fundraiser, let's say you raise like $100. You would log that in, and that'd be part of your 2,000 to reach to enter in to as an investor, right? Or even just doing missionary work, asking people for donations like, hey, this is what we're trying to do. Would love it. You can support and donate to the cause. Also log that under your own personal. And then let us know. We can document that in an Excel sheet, which the Excel sheet will be transparent so everyone can see. So like I said, how will the funds be tracked for each individual person that wants to participate as an investor? We'll have a log and pretty much until you reach the 2,000. Unless we want it to be more. What if we say we don't want it to be 20,000? What if we want to reach 30,000, 40,000, depending on the project, right? That's up to us. But that's how we can do it. So that way everything's transparent, everything's logged, everyone sees what's going on, right? So those are
I
just
have a
two of the
court.
ways.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
My fault. My apologies. I have a question. Is the land only for the 10 people who are the investors? Is the plot only going to be big enough to house or for a community of those 10 people? And then if yes or yay or nay, whatever the case may be, um, what is each individual allotted? Like, so if let's say I pay my 2,000 in full through the course of the 2 years. On the back end, am I allotted? Are we going to talk about dimensions and say, well, this is your plot of the land to build or to grow on, or is the land is it going to be big enough to live and grow on, or whatever the case may be?
Do you?
Yeah, so we're trying to get, so based on our experience dealing with LA County and Orange County tax default auctions, 20,000 is gonna, we can get like 10 acres, 15 acres or something like that, 20 acres. So if 10 people are involved, that means each person will get about 2 acres to themselves.
Maybe about an acre,
Or
acre
eight,
or
or
two.
1.8 or something like that,
It's
right?
like a football field.
Yeah, an acre, bottom line, acre a person, right? But the whole goal is where we're inclusive. We want it to be where we have a common area, but still people want to have their own space too. It's people that might not You know what I mean? We get it, but we still want to be a community, but still allow people to have some type of privacy at the same time. So yeah, it'll be enough to do everything, all of the above. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, that's the goal in mind is that the investors that are involved like would get their own like we're together getting a big piece of land, but we would divvy it up so everyone could have their own private space and do what they want on their land. And
Oh,
then
I
have the
love it.
middle where there would be like a community garden where we could build up a temple where we can meet, have that
I
in
love it.
place.
I love it. And a pond, a retention pond, we need that.
We can build that however we want.
I love it. I love it. The hair standing up on my arms. I don't know about nobody else. I can't speak for nobody else, but I love it.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
And you know, stuff like this is possible because people are doing things like this. I don't know if everyone's ever heard of Techie Homes, but it was a tiny home project. I believe it's like in Texas or like in Atlanta. But pretty much they built like tiny homes and they have like a resource center for everybody and everyone's like in a micro community, right? So things like this is possible. The way that we're doing it is just to be self-sustaining, to have a community garden, have a temple, everyone has their own space, right? And the Techie Home, they all have their own houses, but they all have common areas where they can meet, where they can do their things, amenities, right? So it's really up to the people. It's really up to us what kind of amenities and things that we want to bring in particular. And this is just an idea, right? This we can expand on this, we can shrink it down, we can have more people in on this. We can really make it as big as we want. It's really just even getting in contact with the right people to make it happen, right? And to raise the funds, because like we said, it takes funds or energy to make this happen. And this is I love this. Like this, the whole affordable housing, like that's my thing. Like that's one of my life mission statements is to provide affordable housing for people because that's one of the best ways to start getting rooted and building wealth, really, to really focus in on that because when you're moving around and in survival mode, it's really hard to do that sometimes. So I feel like this can even help with the economic growth too, being able to be stable. We can move forward. Can you move that up to us? You can talk.
I have one more question. Now
Okay.
you said affordable housing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is this in the aspect of Moors living together in a collaborative lifestyle, like an offset community within the community? Like I've seen that happen with the Europeans out in Arizona. They got this place called Leisure World, and it's
Oh
like a
yeah, I've heard of
community
that.
that's yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's like a
We have
community
one out
within the
here.
community that's oh yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, is it in the aspect of Moors living together uh in that aspect, or is it to where let's say I was an entrepreneur and said, okay, well, I got an acre or two, I want to put a couple of houses and I'm gonna make one an Airbnb. You feel me? Or is it strictly the idea, do we want to keep it um do we first want to establish our territory and say, no, this is the community for the Moors and Moors alone?
I feel that would be the best way to go because a lot of issues that we're having today is a split of energy. Is everyone stuck in the rat race 9 to 5 due to the housing, right? People stuck in survival mode because of the housing. You know, there's just the fire and all that stuff going on. People, homeless and stuff. Even since COVID, right? So housing's it's a big issue when it comes to survival, right? So having shelter. Once we can get that in place, I feel then it'd be easier to pop off these different businesses and start working together for economic development. Kind of like, Chinatown, Koreatown, right? They've all at least have some kind of housing where they can live, and then they start to build. They've rooted themselves before they start building. Like in Little Saigon, over in Westminster, that didn't start going on till 1975. After they start to rebuild a little bit after the Vietnam War, and they start to build up community. Now it's widespread, a lot of businesses, a lot of people living in the area that are Vietnamese, right? So it's a slow expansion to be able to get to something like that, having a town where there's like a Moorish community. So that's what's lacking right now is that there's so much division and there's no unity of working together to even preserve the culture, you know?
But yeah,
Islam, appreciate you. Thank you.
Islam. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So we need
So
to start our little. We need to start our little small community and go from there.
yeah, and it will slowly expand. That like I said, in 1975, Little Saigon in Westminster, it was really small. Now it's considered one of the largest places where a lot of Vietnamese people are at. So my family, when we moved from New York, we heard about Little Saigon, where there's a Vietnamese community. That's the reason why we even moved out to California, was because we knew there was a growing community of people that, were familiar with the culture, right? And people start to travel out and the community starts to expand and grow. And then now you have people on the border, however you want to move, right? But that's how that starts. It starts with a little nucleus and starts to expand that way. So short answer, yeah, we would want to try to start with building the community first before we get to the business aspect of it. Because this could also be a business project too. Like once we get the land and stuff, we can start piecing together, okay, how do we want to best to help each other out with businesses now? Who has a business idea? I know you're always bringing that up, right? So that's the kind of like the walk that we're trying to do. Okay. Any other questions?
Not a question, but I do. I did some volunteer work with an organization in Arizona called Tiger Mountain Foundation by this brother named Darren Chapman. And I know the brothers on that team that I held it down with, and the sisters that I held it down with. When we all ready for agriculture, give us a call, cause that's my area of expertise, knowing how to grow fruits and vegetables. And I
Love it.
already got the whole team ready to go.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, I'm gonna be a resident of Cali. Hello. I'm ready to try all
Yep.
that good food out there I'll be seeing on Instagram.
I love it. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward. So how do you become an investor, right? Let's say we stick with the 10 or we expand it. We'll see. Let's say we stick with the 10. So how do we know, right? We don't want just random people that, don't know about the culture. It doesn't, it's not a more, right? So attending the Sunday meetings, we can see where everyone's head's at. Right. I know Hassan, you were bringing this up earlier. And then attending fundraisers, right? Because that's a part of the missionary work. That's a part of helping raise the funds to be able to invest in this land project. And like I said, it would be logged, right? Of how much each person contributed for the fundraiser, depending what kind of fundraiser we do.
And real quick, because Indigo Bay, it's a body of Moors in Arizona, and she was saying we need a collab. So I want to put out there an atmosphere that maybe we can set up something with those Moors. I think it's about 10, 12 Moors in Arizona that we can come together, and that might be 20 people that we can have, and that's half the time to do the same thing we're trying to do. So I just saw what she put in the chat. She literally just said that. And my light bulb went off. I'm like, yeah, that could be, you know what I'm saying? So Indigo, if you want to talk with whoever they talk with over there at that body, or let's just start collaborating. Let's figure out a time. Because now that you seeing in real time what we talking about, take that back to the body of Moors out there, and let's figure something out we can collaborate. Because if we got like 20 people willing to invest, 20, 25 people, now we're talking about a year now to get that 20,000 mark. You know what I mean? So, and then it was all Moors already. You know what I mean? So, yeah, go ahead. I don't want to take you off.
It's okay. Also to be an investor, this is just, like I said, it's rough numbers, but we said $2,000 for the land project, right? It's really gonna take the group to do the research on the land and to see what's being offered and things like that. But this is what we're kind of starting off with now based on like our experience, what we've seen. We're thinking like $2,000 for the land project, bring it to the auction. We already do our research and we are betting on that one right there. We get the land and we can start doing the projects that we want to do. Also to be an investor, keeping a fundraising and donation log. That way we can see like, okay, did you meet your $2,000 mark? Cool. Okay, then you don't have to pay into the monthly payments. You don't have to pay out of your pocket because you kept a log to where we can see this is where you contributed to raising the funds to meet the project needs.
So I want to emphasize that when we say a log, the reason why this is good, because now you're kind of forced to do missionary work. In a sense, it's not forced, but incentive to do missionary work, because now it's not coming out of your own pocket. You didn't talk to 5 different people or one person, 3 person. oh yeah, I like what y'all doing. You didn't summarize what we're doing very well. They can see the vision. That's another key. Comprehend what we're doing so you can talk to the people and help them see the vision of what we're trying to do. Right. And now, oh yeah, you got a log sheet. Okay, write this down. Time, date, your name, boom, 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 boom. Now you got $80 worth of donations for the month. You ain't got to come out your own pocket, but you still contributing to the cause as an act of more and buy it into what we're doing. But it's cheaper for you. So it's advantageous to do missionary work. It's advantageous to do the fundraising, right? It's gonna be cheaper in your pockets, right? Right? And we still can get the goal done. So really, if you can't really do it, if $80 a month is a burden, I'm highly stressed. This is what we're stressing. There's other ways that we can get this done. You know? So I want to highlight that. I want to emphasize that. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Anything extra, like I said, let's say we reach our $20,000 mark, we have extra. That can go towards building different things. I know someone in the chat, I think Larry Bays mentioned like a cafe, right, with books and things like that, different business ventures, schools, more housing, expanding the land, maybe getting land somewhere else, right? Because maybe we just have enough land for this much, but we can have another community over here. There's different Chinatowns in different areas, right, within North America. So it could be the same thing, but it's really just up to us and how we want to go about it and to organize it and to really, be in it together.
And then, like she said, once we get this going, we'll be the hub. Little Saigon started out just how we starting out right now, small numbers. But once we got more established, people start coming out and they wanted to buy into our structure. What we need to do? How can we be of service? How can we fit into this? How can we show allegiance? It's going right. That's all I take. That's all I take. Somebody to get it started. Yeah. You know what I mean? I do it.
So I know it says attend all Sunday meetings, attend all fundraisers. For whatever reason, like if you can attend, because we just want to see the allegiance to the project and things like that. And like Hassan said, we don't want just random people. We want people that we're around, that we know, and that we could build community with, right? So you can't attend an event for whatever reason, like it could be a conversation. We'll put it in the notes and stuff like that, so we can keep track of, okay, who's been showing up, who's been helping raise the funds for this project, who's going to be here on the land with us, showing the community, right, working together. So that was just kind of a way we thought, to be flexible, because we understand that there's life, people can't make it to all the stuff. So, it's just a conversation, but still heading in the right direction. So this is just like this is something that's always been like in my mind. This is just like a kind of like a fun idea, right? Let's say we had 1 acre of living, right? You have a whole acre of land. How would that look like for you? For me, I would want to have like a little home built. And there's different ways to make homes, right? You can get a manufactured home. We could build it up ourselves. There's a nonprofit out here called Habitat for Humanity, and they utilize volunteers to help build up homes. There's actually a project going on in Santa Ana that they're waiting for the permits and stuff to start. And I'm trying to get involved to help them build that. And it's purely volunteers for that. So, we could do it ourselves, right? It's just learning how to do it. These are pictures of tiny homes that people have put together themselves with a water reservoir, with solar panels. You can see they have a mini garden around them, right? So a lot of this stuff is possible. People are doing it. Me personally, I want a little underground bunker. If anything would ever go on with the weather or whatever, I want to be able to go underground and have some like food to preserve, a lot of survival things, right? Because I want to be prepared. And Cal is always saying like being prepared, right? I feel like that's preparation for survival.
Well, Empress, let me interject. I come from the nuclear field with the shipbuilding industry. So what we would use before we would extract the nuclear reactor out of ships, we would put lead bags everywhere. This is why when you get like an X-ray or whatever, they put the lead bags around you or whatever to block the radiation. Lead blocks radiation naturally. That's why they took it out of the paint. They try to say that the kids was eating the paint and getting lead poisoning. That is not true. They took the lead out the paint because it blocks radiation. And I yield the floor. Sorry for the intrusion.
No, it's okay.
Wow.
So are you saying to be able to use lead to protect?
Yes,
is that
ma'am. What we used to do was lay like 50-pound lead bags all over the nuclear reactor area before we extracted the nuclear reactor. Because listen, here's the thing. Like for real, we need to stop eating fish too, because you know what they do with the nuclear core from a ship when it's done, is powerful for like 50 years. Okay. They just take the core and they go into international waters and just drop it in the ocean. That reactor is still active and pushing out nuclear radiation for 50 to 100 years after it's been extracted out of a ship. We have to understand that.
and that's why we have you.
Correct. Correct.
Right?
So, you know, the nuclear thing is very real, and everybody have to understand that in the chat. So, of course, you're not going to find no paint that contains lead because they took all the lead out the paint. But you have to, like, you know, if you want to build a bunker, the best thing to do is line it out with lead around the walls and things of that nature. This takes, you know, it takes money to do all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You know, I know I told you Sheik a long time ago. I was like, yo, what if we try to do this like outside of this country? You know what I'm saying? Somewhere like tropical, like somewhere different that's not in the United States. You know what I'm saying? And he was saying, you know, we can do that, but we need to start our thing right here. So I'm with it, man. I'm with it 100,000%. I don't know about nobody else. I can just speak for myself. So I like the presentation. This presentation is beautiful. I like the concept of everything, and I'm with it. I don't know about nobody else, but I'm with it because I'm ready to leave this corporate America shit alone.
Thank you for sharing that.
Wow.
All right, so I'm going to continue on. So, like I said, this is like the little dream, solar panels for natural energy, water reservoir, mini personal garden. So just a way to be more self-sustainable, right? If things were to hit the fan, right, with them shutting everything down, the grocery stores, everything that happened during COVID, right? At least we'll be able to sustain within ourselves and have community to where we can provide services to each other, have water, have food, right? Depending what your diet and your lifestyle is, you maybe have some livestock if that's your thing. But you know, we want to grow towards like being more plant-based, right? Keeping the body pure, you know, that's like within the culture. So this is just an idea. It's just kind of just drawing up like what it could be because people do stuff like this. It's possible. All right. So I just want to show some visuals. Beautiful. All right. So how would we even get started, right? How we can start collecting funds if we want to start doing this, or do we want to talk more about it, right? Do we want to expand on the vision? Like, what do we want to do? So the way we were thinking, like collecting on Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, however is easiest for people. The reason why is because we want to keep a paper trail. We were thinking inserting in the memo, noble title, and then for land project, right? That will be collected and then it'll put into an Excel sheet, which Mafia will be doing the bookkeeping on that. The Excel sheet can be shared to everybody, right? To where you guys can view what's going on. Okay, this date I contributed this much. This date I made this much for the fundraiser, right? It was paid through Zelle or whatever it is. That way we're logging everything and we're keeping track of how much funds we have. Did we meet our $20,000 mark yet? Or did we exceed that? Do we have room to, you know, maybe do other projects, right? So that's kind of the goal and the plan on putting this together, and how we're going to be transparent, even like with the payments too, whatever's easiest for everybody. So like I said,
I have a
sorry, go
question.
ahead.
I have a question. So this is a hypothetical question,
Mhm.
and I don't want it to be taken as far-fetched, but it's just hypothetical, just kind of like of a insurance type of thing. If I pass away in the next 2 years and my portion is paid up, or most of it paid up, or whatever the case may be, does it travel down to my family? Does it travel down to my boys?
That's all about a contract. That
Okay.
that is no, we have to just make that what you express in writing, and then that's what it's
Okay.
gonna be.
Mhm.
Okay. Yes,
And
sir.
that could be a conversation. Like now that we're talking about this space, now we can even expand to that, right? Because it's good to think that way, right? Okay, what if something like that were to happen? Okay, what's going to happen with that? Are we gonna put the money back, or are we gonna well now your family is part of the investment, right? And then we can write that out for everybody now, and then we just have to abide by that, right? So
Okay.
it's really what we put together. Because this is just an idea that I'm spewing out, right? Based on our last conversation. These are just visuals for you guys. But like I said,
Mhm.
it takes the whole group to come to life to make this vision happen. So that was great that you brought that up. Yeah, we could talk about that and expand on that even more.
Okay.
Mhm. Any other questions? No? Right. So, how do we plan on, um, checks and balances with transparency, right? So, we're dealing with money. I know earlier there was, the word trust was being thrown around, right? So to be transparent and when we're collecting the funds, um, I was thinking, like I said, the Excel sheet that would be shared with the group, so everyone have their email. You can always log on at any time to pretty much check out, okay, where are we at? Right? Because these are the 10 investors. And then once we do like our monthly collection or whatever, pretty much counting the money out. Like here, this is what we have in our little safe, right? Because I don't know if people want to go like save it in a bank so you guys can see it online, or it would be better to have it in the cash and then we can go count it that way. But pretty much get the cash, count it out in front of everybody so everyone sees where we're at, and then go with the reports, right? So now you see it on the Excel, and then we've now pretty much counted it in person. So you guys can see that the bookings match with what we have, right? How often will we do that? Pretty much like how we set the monthly payment or however, that like once a month, we will catch up on the reports. Hey, this is where we're at. We saved $1,000 so far. We have $19,000 more to go. Great job, everybody. Like, right? So that's how we keep up the reports and making sure everyone on real time on Zoom can see it going on. So I feel like that was a fair and like transparent way to go about things, you know. And go forward. So, what about when we're looking for land, right? So we would need help. We would need to help each other to make this happen, right? Like I said, I've gone on YouTube, I watched videos. We've actually been to an online auction. I've talked to someone before that does manufactured homes. We've gone to look at land before. So it's really just it's doing the due diligence, learning how to do that, right? And then doing the actions to it. So we would learn how to do land research together based on what I already know. I can teach, and then we can expand even more. Excuse me. Utilizing different ways to gather data, whether we're talking to somebody, we're going online on the government site to look at the parcel, we're using a different third-party website, right, to do that. Boots on the ground, we actually have to go look at the land, right? Just because we see it at an auction, this is what they're saying online. We actually have to go look at it to see, okay, is this what they're really saying? And then to report it to the group, right? Okay, after we've done the research, we've gathered the data, everything looks good. This is an ideal area. Okay, so this is the one we want to focus on for the auction. Let's look at this parcel right here, and this is on the money that we've saved up. Let's try to go for this one. And then once we get the land, go through that process. What's the next step? Okay, maybe fundraising, saving up to get supplies to build homes, right? Or like I said, there's other organizations that we can collaborate with. It's just a conversation, right? So Habitat for Humanity, they literally go around with volunteers building homes. And actually, I went to volunteer like 2 weeks ago, over at their warehouse, and they have a warehouse all with a bunch of machines in there. They've already had wooden frames for the project in Santa Ana, really just waiting for the green light to start putting everything together. And they do this with volunteer work. So it can be a conversation like, you know what, we have some land. This is for, the indigenous community. We would love to see we can have some volunteers come out, and we as investors too, whoever is here can help with that also to make it come to life. Like Hassan was saying, pretty much building it ourselves, right? But I don't see anything wrong with a little extra help if they already have a nonprofit that has the tools and the resources to get all the supplies donated, because a lot of their supplies, they get donated to them to even build the houses. So it's just a conversation. And then also linking up with Community Land Trust Network in California. There's different tribal organizations, right? There's different indigenous organizations. There's all these kind of organizations that are looking into getting community land trust because they realize that housing is not affordable. and it needs to be dealt with in the community. So talking to them about what strategies are they using, how are they building their homes, right? So it's really just getting creative and how to get the land, and then how are we going to pretty much get the housing together. But it starts with getting the land first, right? Getting the land first, and then having a conversation with these organizations. So, in conclusion, we as Khalifa Society can work together to find creative ways to meet our goal of self-sustainable living within the Moorish community in California. This can be a safe haven where there's an abundance of garden, food, stable housing for generations to come, and support a community that is divinely prepared to set up future generations for a legacy of uniting humanity through the Moorish paradigm. Helping Khalifa Society preserve the culture through proximity of community to develop and progress in economic growth. Right? That's what we're missing right now, is the unity part, is being close to each other to be able to do things like this. So that's what I'm proposing based on the conversation we had last week. I wanted to put together a visual for everybody, and just kind of, open up the floor for any like thoughts, ideas, any other questions. We'll keep that in mind about, passing it on to the family, how that's going to look like and everything. But really it's keeping the land under the community land trust so we can keep it going for family generations, right? To keep it rooted. That's really what it is to keep it rooted within the family. So that way we don't have to worry about, oh, we lost this wealth right here and have to rebuild again and rebuild again. Right? That's what happens with family wealth, is that they lose the wealth for whatever reason, right? And so the next generation has to restart. We're trying to make it a way to where we don't have to restart. We already have it and it's solid, and now you can start building economic wealth.
Correct. I love it. I absolutely love this. I love it.
I had one question. I've been listening the whole time, but I haven't been able to look at any slides. I was hearing you saying next slide and things. Would I be able to get the presentation in an email or anything to relate to my significant other, and just talk about how we want to move? But I love it as well.
I love it. This is good.
Go ahead, Kenny.
Indigo.
This is what I've been waiting for, to become a bushman.
Indigo Bay, you got something?
Hi, peace and love, everybody. I just want to say, great presentation. I would really like to see maybe if there could be some sort of collaboration between AZ and Cali, even if it's like a Zoom, just for starters. I think out here, what we're seeing is just like the visual, and I think this presentation sort of helped the sort of the flow, you know what I mean? Like getting everybody on the same page as far as seeing like you said. I think that's extremely important. And maybe even, I may be getting ahead of myself, but maybe even if we're working together, maybe we can sort of out here in AZ do something like that, as far as following the same structure, if you will, to get the funds, to get maybe even land out here. So this way we're working simultaneously between Cali and Arizona.
Yep. And that's the idea, is we start somewhere and then slowly expand, right? This idea, once we see the system works, we rinse and repeat. Now we can help build different Moorish communities that can go by the same model.
Make it work for us first and see what they're on. Yes, ma'am. Correct.
Yeah, it has to, and that's what I'm saying. There's other projects that's already been done. It just hasn't been in the light of the Moorish paradigm, right? Techie homes. They built tiny homes already, have a resource center for the people. We just call it a temple, right? Where we have schools and we're practicing culture, right? So people have already done stuff like this. It's really just meeting with them, talking with them. How did you get the land? Oh, you got it through this way? Okay, you raise funds. Land can also get donated, right? We get a proclamation. There's so many ways we can go about this. It doesn't even have to be a financial standpoint like this. It can be, okay, we're working together. We've been working together, right? Get a proclamation. We talk to, whoever can donate the land, and they can donate the land to us, right? So there's a lot of, because there are land donations. I spoke to someone at Habitat for Humanity. She's the one that does the research for the land. I spoke with her 2 weeks ago. She's like, every situation is unique. how they get the land to build these houses is unique in every situation. This is just one perspective that we're coming at because we know that there's land auctions, right? And it's more it would be more of an independent project where it's like you wouldn't have too many hands in on it. If they're doing a deal with the city's like, oh, we kind of need this, you kind of need that. And they're a little bit more picky when they're going to donate the land, right? So it kind of just depends on which way we want to go about it. And it could be people that have land that, maybe don't have anyone to pass it down to, but they understand the mission. They want to help future generation. It could be an older couple that want to donate land.
Correct.
To the cause, right? So there's so many different angles, we can go about this. It can be the fundraisers. No one has to put in money at all. It could be just purely fundraisers, right? Getting people to come to events or whatever fundraiser that we decide as a group, right? It's going to be like a group effort to make it happen. So some people could be a committee of, okay, what kind of fundraisers ideas do we have? Another committee could be like, okay, who's doing the land research? Who's helping deal with that? And then we bring it together. And that's how we can make the vision come to life, because it takes a team.
Word. I like it. I love it. I love it.
So I guess at this point,
just marinate on it. I would say just marinate on it.
You can marinate on it. Next week, we'll see. We can get some solidification on people that I know. Brother Hassan, you said you already in, but like I say, it's 11 people on here. We did the model for 10 people that's locked in.
Word.
We're gonna create the log, so people that it may be a little steep for that can't afford it, they can do the fundraising. They got 30 days to raise $83, and they can do that every month. They can be on pace, or they can just pay $40 and raise $40. They'll be on pace.
I'm gonna do the best I can. You already know. As soon as you shot me the invite to the event, I gave it off the rip. So when I got it. You already know. This is about when you come into this, we're supposed to honor and support each other in whatever businesses that we're doing. You know what I mean? Honor ourselves in our free national name. That's how we get it done. All these judges, all these other motherfuckers, bro, you know what I'm saying? Depending on how they talking or whatnot or whatever, you feel me? Everybody, you feel me? So, we got to, you know what I mean, play the game a little bit, but for the most part, we don't have to play no games with nobody. That's neither here nor there. That's deep talk.
It's wrong.
Straight up. Because I don't be playing no games, you feel me? Like, I'm on the phone with the model that I walked into with this a few years ago, you know what I mean? We done moved how we moved. He done pressed the starting line and grabbed his son and skated to the East Coast on him real quick with no paperwork and all that. You know?
Yeah, and the reason why, sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to interrupt. And I was sorry for interrupting the presentation sometimes when I did, but sometimes I'll hear a word, and then my mind flies on all of the separate words that I know that deal with all of this double speak that we deal with all of these curses that we deal with dealing with English and whatnot. But it's. But I do want to say it's like a lot of our own people that we got to deal with or whatever, you know what I mean? Or because it ain't no moving away from, because it's like they come to step on you. And that's and the stuff is like crazy, you know what I mean? My view as the Albions, the other, you know what I mean, clandestine orders or however they move, whatever the case may be. All of them cats as trustees, they're doing whatever they're supposed to do. They're doing whatever it is that they're supposed to do. Because some of that stuff ain't even directly against us. It's our own people that's moving against us, bro. That's just, you know what I mean, my synopsis on coming into this and how I be looking and how I be moving around and how people be treating me, trying to get me to put my feds down and whatnot when I walk into certain places, just as myself. Not going in there looking all hard and trying to, stick my chest out or whatever, you feel me? Because my chest is swinging like, nah, bro. I respect everybody. It's the people, man. It's our own people.
Correct.
It's our own people, bro.
Not here. None of that stuff you're experiencing, you will experience here with us at all. You will not experience that with us at all.
Bro, I've been watching y'all from far though, bro. I ain't even gonna lie, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna be going out of my way.
That's correct. That divine intervention from you here. So listen more than you speak, brother. Respectfully.
Wow. That's a lot. Um,
That's something.
you guys said something else before we close out?
Yeah, before we close out, yeah, you're right. It's important to get the community together, right? People that are already on the same page. We can't force anybody to be on the paradigm. We can only do what we can. So there's people already on the paradigm that's willing to work together and make this happen, right? And to protect one another, right? So that's why I feel like this is so important to even have this first step, because this is building trust too, right? To be able to live in a community together, we have to trend that way. That's why it's important to come to the meetings, to come to the events, so we get to know one another, right? If we're going to be living in a community together, making it happen together, working and supporting one another, right? It comes to community building, and this is exactly what we're doing. So I want to say that, and also the model of the fundraisers is to make it inclusive for everybody that wants to join. That, no matter the circumstances, like there's ways to be able to invest in this and to be a part of this. Because I know, unfortunately, like with finance and how things go in the world, like it's not everyone's on that, right? So I had to fundraise a lot of this stuff in my life, and that's why I'm on this model. I've done on a smaller scale for my volleyball girls. I used to coach volleyball, and my girls couldn't pay for their sports, but they really wanted to play and they were really good. So I would create fundraisers for them, and I would go to the ASB or the little, school bank where they collect funds, and I'd be like, here, we've raised this much. I want you to deposit this much in each girl's bank and let them use it to whatever they need to use it for them to pay for their sports to play. That's on a smaller scale. We're talking about on a bigger scale. Now we raise funds, right? Everyone, chipping 2,000, you reached your mark. Okay, cool. Now you're part of it. You're an investor. So, I've done stuff like this on a smaller scale, and I believe that we can do this on a bigger scale too. And it just takes transparency, working together. Like we did a car wash fundraiser to be able to collect a few $100s for the girls to pay for their stuff, right? This is the same thing. It's a little bit more details, a little bit more research, takes more energy to put it together, but it's doable. People are doing it. There's a whole network of community land trusts. How are they doing it? Right? We don't have to be the trailblazers. There's people that are already doing stuff like this. We just got to connect with them and, really see how can we make this feasible? How can we make this strategy work for the Moorish community?
Okay, so we got so far we got 2 for sure.
In my opinion, I feel as though they have to be Moors. Because if they're not honoring their foremothers and forefathers, they're subject to, do something behind the scenes or whatever, some sort of clandestine, pusillanimous kind of thing to cut us, you know what I mean? Because that's what we always have been running into for over the last 100 years or something like that, you know what I mean? Ever since they backstabbed the property, you know what I mean? So it's like, you really got to watch people close. I really be out here on that because I watch how people have dealt with me. Like, cats have tried to come for me, just quietly, you know what I mean? But it's like, I ain't out here trying to make no noise. I ain't trying to mess with their money like that, bro. But however, I do want to see our people do well here. But in the midst of all these people out here doing all these lines or whatever, right in your face, and then they mad at me for just being the mo outside. Like, nah, all of that shit, all that shit out.
Yeah,
But that's, you know what I mean? I don't really complain about that. That's just, you know what I mean? That's just what I see. And it is what it is. I'm going to be the moto, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Be myself.
So right now I'm looking in the chat. I see 2 people that's in. Kyle L, Brother Hassan.
Yeah, I'm trapped.
I'm in, and 9L. So what we want to do is start with 10. Start with 10 people that's bought into this.
Wait. Is it to your Cash App or is it to the fund that you were showing? Because I was doing a little bit of moving around because I'm about to get back to doing these little deliveries and whatnot. I can't sit still for too long. I'm trying to get off the ground, boy. I ain't even going, you know what I mean?
It's a conversation with each person. Whatever each person has, we can talk about it. What's the best way? It's just we want the memo to say the noble title and say land project, and then we're gonna log it on a master sheet on Excel, and you'll see what form of payment you use, whether you use Zelle, Venmo, whatever is easiest for you. Just because we're trying to make it easier to collect the funds and centralize it.
Empress, I got a question. I got a question for you, Amav. Check it, right? So I ain't even worried about the login and all that shit, because I know y'all righteous in y'all endeavors. This is what I'm saying. That Zelle and goddamn Cash App and shit, them people be looking at that shit. So if a motherfucker send you like, you know, anything over $300, then people's gonna be looking at. So how are we gonna deal with that as far as the, you know, the tax situation? Like, I'm just trying to be safe. If I gotta bail y'all a money order, that'll be better than fucking with the electronical shit. So them people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a conversation.
Yeah, so basically, if you're doing the monthly increments, it's not a big deal. If you're doing the $80 a month, but of course, if you want to do one whop and get it over with, then yeah, we can figure out other ways to do it.
Yeah, you gotta do something. Okay, it's fine, my bad. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, because I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna do the 80, whatever that joint. I'm gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not in a position right now to just carry out 2 racks right now. You know what I'm saying? I was out of work for like 3 months. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I probably would do it like that, but I'm still gonna invest. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing. The question is everybody else going to invest? That's the point. That's the part. You know what I'm saying? That's where it boils down to, where everybody barbecue or mildew. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's what it boils down to. You trust what the sheik and the empress is saying and what you learning, or you fugazi, one or the other. You know what
I
I'm
have a
saying?
question. I got a question as well. Is it better for, because we want to do all Moors? Are we saying all nationalized Moors? Because with my concern as far as like generational wealth or passing down to my children, would I still be able to start my $80 a month journey now in the current status that I'm in now, or should I wait until we nationalize the documents and everything like that, and I go through my nationalization process, the trust, the whole 9 yards, and then so everything is because like the brother is bringing up the taxi situation and this is that and the third, and I want to make sure that if I do have to get something in corrective status, that I don't have to do too many, I don't have to jump rope backwards too much. You know, I'm already trying to fix what I'm coming into the knowledge of now today. So
Yes,
you know, I
no, the
don't want to slow
paperwork.
nobody up neither, but and it's not going to take no whole long time to. I just need to get that other missing page and finish doing the little researches and studies I'm doing, just so I can make sure that I'm how can you say, up to par, that I'm proficient in the work here, and so that I can further that process. But what you think, Mafi? Should I wait till I'm nationalized or what?
You already nationalized. The paperwork is not what makes you nationalized. It's your actions. It's your actions and deeds and your allegiance just by your action. You know what I mean? So
You kind of breaking up, brother.
You
what
broke
about
up,
now?
Marv.
Can you hear me now? What about now? Mic check. Mic
Yeah.
check.
Yeah,
Mic check.
you
I'm back.
good. You good now, Marv. Go ahead.
Okay. So
Go ahead.
the paperwork is not what makes you the Moor. It's your mind state and how you conducting yourself with the people and where your heart is at. So this is a jurisdiction right here. This chat right here. We all Moors. This is actually a jurisdiction right now. And we all on the same page. That's really what it's about. And you showing allegiance. And everything's gonna be documented, you know. So that's what I was saying on that. But we still, we can still
For
correct paperwork.
legal purposes.
Yeah, you
For
can.
legal purposes. Oh, you said we could still.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
we all witnesses. We all like this Zoom call being recorded. Altar,
Hey,
Kyle, El
Okay,
Razu,
cool.
El Day. This
Yeah.
I can reference this meeting. It's all more, all Bay and L's in here. This is on the
Okay,
record.
dig that. Okay, yes.
Look,
Alhamdulillah.
This is on the record, man. Yeah.
look,
Yes, sir. Okay.
look. Listen, if I passed away tomorrow, most high forbid, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever I put into this, I'm going to trust it, man, because nobody else is doing this right here. Nobody else is putting nobody on to nothing. And the dirty elder Moors that's out here in the limelight, it's all about lining their pockets. You know what I'm saying? We got a sheik that's starting from the bottom. Starting from the bottom, now we here. You know what I'm saying? We got a sheik starting from the bottom, bro. So he ain't got no reason to fraudulate nobody. He ain't got no reason to do none of this. This is coming from his stomach, bro. Like the man was, when he first started, the man told me and probably was like, yo, man, I was militant as hell. I was like Malcolm X on the motherfuckers. But he had to know what was going on. And his vision and what he going on, what's happening, is happening now with us, with the little bit of people that are involved in this situation. His vision is coming to light. And on top of that, we are gaining knowledge and we are coming to light of things that we didn't understand. All of us on this chat have came with certain little bit of knowledge in different aspects of life. You know what I'm saying? But the universe brought you here. That's what I keep trying to implement to everybody. The universe brought you here. The empresses, the kings that's on here, the universe brought you here for a reason. Y'all done already been through dirty sheiks or dirty whatever, masonry people, whatever the fuck. Y'all done been through all that. Now you here. And you here for a reason. I didn't know nothing about Moorish science, bro. Nothing. I'm 44 years old. I was living my life like just the average motherfucker out here before I met Moth, man. I ain't even laid dead ass eyes on Moth. And I trust what the fuck he's saying. You know why? Because I know my soul resonates with shit that's real. I do know that much. And y'all do too. I'm preaching to the choir right now. Oh shit. So let's just try to like focus on the solution and stop focusing on too many questions respectfully, bro. Because sometimes I feel like the questions is lying and sometimes I feel like the questions is like coming at my sheik and like this man is coming from total innocence and total divine intervention, man. I don't know how else to tell y'all. I was at a job and met a dude that knew him that put me on and now the dude gone, but I'm still here. I just said that. Like, yo, let's get real and get united for real. I understand we all collectively, individually have been through shit in the world, but society ain't the most high. This is the most high right here. The prophet started this shit. The Nation of Islam wouldn't even be the Nation of Islam if it wasn't for the prophet. Unfortunately, the shit happened like it did, but now we know that. We need to move different. And I'm not saying none of y'all are like really like, you know, questioning yourself or whatever, but in a sense you are. It's like half and half. You know what I'm saying? So like at the end of the day,
like this. Because they done
we
came
just gotta respect the shit, man.
You feel me? You don't even know the level of seriousness or whatever like that. I mean, I'd be like, all right. I'm trying to be cool though, still be like, you know, right
listen, brother, when you first came on the chat, I already knew. I told you your muscles were sore hours ago. And it's showing that your muscles are sore because you have so much to say, you have so much to bring out, but you're not listening, you're not being receptive. We're not against you. You need to understand that.
I never said that you was against me, bro. I didn't say that you chased me down or whatever. You put me in circle my car and try to kill me. I didn't say that you know what I mean. That I seen you.
Correct. But the energy's there. The energy's there, and I'm here to protect my sheep, regardless of charges.
Look, though, bro.
We're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna.
But respectfully,
go ahead.
I'm gonna be like this anytime somebody see me. What you see is what you get. Islam,
you
know what I mean? So anybody about to tell me to change nothing. You know what I mean?
I must gotta meditate on the fact that maybe you'll see that we're not like everybody else.
I'm trying
That's
to
what I have to do.
You know what I'm saying?
Islam on that. I appreciate the lesson, brother. But I'm trying to tell you,
Savior born in the spring. You feel me? I come to shake this up. I'm Daoud. They talk about me in the book.
This is a righteous movement. We don't have 150 people. We have 10.
But I ain't arguing with nobody about nothing. You feel me?
Okay.
You feel me?
Yes.
Islam, I do want to say one thing, bro, just to kind of bring it back one time. This whole Morris Divine movement and national movement, what we doing is exercising a muscle in the brain. And so for me, I like to just make sure that I think the muscle that's exercising is coming into the realization of making sure that you crossing all your T's, dotting all your I's. You know, all the things that when I was younger, my moms and my pops was telling me, make sure this, make sure to do that, do this, do that. And as an adolescent, I was ignoring, or I didn't make sure to go back and cross them T's and dot them I's. Handling business now as an adult in today's society does not necessarily push us, especially for our people, to pay attention to the crossed T's and the dotted I's, right? Because how many times have we just got a new phone or whatever the case may be, and we just scroll right to the end of the contract and hit sign? You know what I mean? We not never known to talk to read anything, how to understand anything, and we don't really have any elders to ask questions. And the ones that we have been asking the questions, they haven't really been giving us the sauce. Like, you know what I mean? I'm from AZ, so there's no more science temples. All there was Prince Hall Masonry at that time. Yeah, at this, even still to this day, there's no. The Nation of Islam is out there, but it's not like a real movement like in New York and LA, and you know what I mean? There's nothing like really major out there for brothers to attach the thinking mindset to allow it to develop. So for me, I'm in the space of I don't want to. That's why I say I don't want to cast no shadows or make it seem like I'm sowing threads of doubt. I want it to be taken as this is just me having a reality check to cross my T's and dot my I's and make sure that I got everything in alignment, in abundance with what I'm doing for myself through Islam and what I'm doing as well as myself as just as a father and just as a good brother in the community. You know what I'm saying? All the things that I stood for in the past, how can I say? Even through my prayer, when I make my salat, it cleanses my soul. It's something about meditation and about making the salat that cleanses the soul to where we not coming into a noble science still with the dirt and the or the mindset of our old self, of what we were taught by the old society, that we coming into a noble science and we actually understanding what the nobility is. You know what I'm saying? It's more than just affairs. It's more than just being able to argue about this and that and the third. And for me, at least, it's more than just being able to say, oh, well, you know, you were European, you stole the land, you stole the land. It's more than just say the nation, the nation, the nation. It's to me, it's really higher than that. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about the spirit, the self. So I'm in an abundance right now and an alignment of reassessing who I am, who I am and where I see myself going on in the future. You know what I'm saying? Because in the Holy Quran, Circle 7, bro, when they talk about that higher self and that lower self, that really spoke to me. When Isha was talking about utilizing the carpenter's tools to enlighten the mind, for me, that really spoke to me. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just like when Uncle Drew Ali said, where's Allah at? Allah's in the heart. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the more that we focus on purifying the heart, the better that we can see the good in one another. You know what I'm saying? So don't take what I'm saying as me going against Mafi. Alhamdulillah, I'm here and I keep coming back. But this is just my era right now to make sure that I'm crossing my T's and dotting my I's. I don't want to come into this thing like, oh, well, did you know this? Well, I know that and I know that. You know what I mean? When I'm in the presence of somebody who knows more than me, I'm gonna play my position on the board how it's supposed to be. But I'm also, like my mama taught me, make sure I cross my T's and make sure I dot my I's. Because when she gone, if my pops and them gone, I ain't got nobody else.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So I gotta make sure everything is in abundance. And
Correct.
I'm thinking about generationally as well. If we talking about infiltrators and things that get taken in the divine things that get taken from us and get watered down, I got to make sure that when this message reach my two boys, that it reaches them in the light that it's supposed to. Feel me?
And then again, brother, like you got to take into consideration these children are different from us. We older, we OGs. You know what I'm saying? These kids got a different perspective on life. Not saying that your children will go that route, but a lot of children do. You know what I'm saying? They don't really see things from the perspective that we see things. You know what I'm saying? But listen, to go off of what you were saying, brother. I'm just here to protect my sheep. I know my sheep touched my soul without he even trying to do it. He wasn't manipulating me. He wasn't doing nothing. He just exposed me to the truth. Just like he touched your soul because you here. Just like he touched the brother's soul, he here. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody here. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want people to come on here or think that we're trying to like bamboozle or swindle them because that's not what this is. I know for surety that that's not what this is. Even when I'm not even gonna lie. I've argued some things that I've learned and it come out to be true. I don't argue no more, bro, because I know this is it. I just have to have the perseverance. I just have to have the discipline to put myself in line with what the fuck I'm learning. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, but I can tell the new brother, he going through some things. You know what I'm saying? He's been through a lot of things. I just want him to know of a surety that he is in open fucking beautiful fucking arms. That's what I want him to know.
Hey, man,
That's
I rock with y'all. I'm supposed to. I'm supposed to
like
see
for
them.
real. I
I
want
see
you to
them. I
know
see
that,
them until
bro.
they see me and now we see each
I'm
other.
in Virginia and Moffin, California. I'm from the Bronx, bro. I'm street smart like a motherfucker. I'm a
I'm
Virgo.
not saying
I'm very
my buddy
passionate
over there on the
about
East
my
Coast with you.
words. Moff is the truth, bro. I'm telling you. That's all I'm gonna say. Moff the truth, man. I hope you believe it, and I'm gonna meditate that you're gonna believe that
All right, I
shit,
told you, I
bro.
think you Grand Sheik, no more, bro.
Word up.
Now,
I
now,
don't
now,
want you
that
to think my shit ain't the
Hey, but
truth, bro.
at
That's
the
what the
same
truth.
time, brother Hassan, you gotta
Like
also
rolling from a
allow the brother
357.
you gotta also allow the brother to be able to see Mafi's works. Like I've been around long
Correct.
enough to where I'm already vibing to what you're saying because I know because I done
Correct.
kicked it for a minute. But you gotta
I
also allow and Mafi is one of them type of brothers. He don't really say a lot.
No, he don't. He
He
be
more so
chilling. He
about
humble.
action.
With
He's
the
more so about
action.
action. So even today's presentation, I was blown away. I'm like, y'all did all that in a week. So you know,
I'm telling
I'm
you,
like,
bro.
so, but
Anybody
you, but
on
you,
here,
you,
I
Yeah,
want
you
them.
gotta
he gonna have
allow,
to see in time.
the brother's works to be able to be witnessed as well. It's just
Yeah.
like any other messenger, any other prophet, or any other good soldier in the community or in the hood. You gotta
Yeah.
allow their works to be able to be seen by the people.
Islam.
So, but
Islam.
alhamdulillah, because you are going hard for the brother as well. So we see
I'm
that as
telling
well
you.
at the same
Okay.
time. So alhamdulillah.
Word.
wow. You got something on there?
Yeah, I just want to address two things. The first is because this is like a project, this is an idea we spoke about last week. This is just expanding the vision. So, like, I want to welcome all questions, any concern, because we got to build trust in this. It's not going to work. We don't have trust. So, any questions, keeping it open, making sure everyone's taken care of when we're doing this kind of investment is important. So, I welcome all questions. So that way we can think about it together and figure it out. Right. So, I just want to create space for that. And then, even also like the healing aspect, right? There's a lot of things that's been going on, especially in the Moorish paradigm. So, like you said, like cleaning, like purifying, cleansing the heart, right? Getting back to self. That's really why we're gonna have the temple, why we want to have that as a community center, because that would be a place of healing, a place where we can be on all higher vibrations together, right? That's where it starts because you can't even community build if you're not feeling right within yourself by how life has gone. We've all been through a lot of different things in life. And so, a lot of scars and wounds need to be healed up to even get to a place to flourish, right? So I just kind of wanted to address those two things. Those are two things that we're simultaneously working on, you know? it's a spiritual warfare that's going on. So to get right within the self, having community behind you to help you through that process, right? Letting you know that it's safe, it's okay, that we're here and we're trying to work together to make it happen. So I think those two aspects are important, that this is open space to collaborate and to talk it out, and that that we're going to be here to support one another while we're building up this vision together.
It's
And
fine.
It's gonna be fun learning new words. That's been my favorite part of coming into more science, is learning how to read again. I'll say that to say the least.
it's beautiful,
Because
man.
having to understand how different words work and how different things work. You're not
Etymology.
fooled and misled, Allah's the word. Word is bond. You know what I mean? They gonna that's what it's gonna fall back on. You get
Yeah.
you get right with the word. You get right with Allah. That's all law. You know what I mean? So it's real simple to me, bro. Like,
Islam.
it click like puzzle
Islam.
pieces. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Islam.
Yeah,
Like,
just everyone just marinate on everything we talked about today. Any questions that you guys have for next week, marinate on it. We'll open it up for discussion, see how we could build upon it, see where some things maybe we need to tweak, like the contract about generational wealth, how we're gonna pass that down. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about anything that comes to mind. Indigo Bay, I know you want the presentation in Arizona. Let's talk about that. Let's start opening this up for discussion so we can start really building on this vision, because this is not gonna be an overnight thing. This is going to take time and energy and everyone's input to make it happen. So
Correct.
I welcome it. I welcome it. Mhm.
And we put time and energy in the corporate world, we're gonna put time and energy in ourselves. Islam.
I'm definitely trying to get off the corporate world. And it's a few things that has happened to me. And I just need some help putting some ducks in a row, whatever the case may be, because when I become abundant in myself, I'm trying to, help heal our nation
Wow.
with all I
Islam.
got, because all I ain't, you know what I mean? Because I ain't really like got nothing like that or whatever the case may be. My people chose the other side, and I'm the down of all of that. So it's like whatever. Like I don't have to link with you, Grand Sheik, and just have a personal conversation with you on where I'm at and how I come into this and just how this whole divine manifest come to manifest. You know what I mean? Because it's crazy out here, but it's love though. You know what I mean? It's love, and that's what we are, the manifestation of. So
Wow.
you know what I mean? I keep myself I keep myself functional, whatever the case may be. You feel me? Whatever I can pull from whatever I'm doing or whatever. Like I said, it's nothing. Because like I said, I ain't just walked into nobody temple and whatnot. People, I'm walking in there and they talking to me crazy. All right, bro. No right from wrong. You know what I mean? But they got fezzes on. You're supposed to be our brothers. It's scary. That's all I'm saying. But not like that. But you know what I mean? It's funny. It's so many ways to explain this.
Yeah.
But it's good though. I'm comfortable with you guys. I'll invest with you. It's nothing. I'm still investing myself in. Like I said, me and my brother, and that I come into this with. We got plans. Y'all talking about a lot of the things that we talk about, but y'all are more active than we. So you know what I mean. You guys are older than us as far as like you know what I mean, being born again. So that like respect. You feel me? So that's why I said like whatever I got to offer, it's nothing, bro. There's so many words I can't even. You see the excitement and be like, like I want to jump out my skin. It's love, bro.
Yeah, it's all love. It's love, man. It's love. Yeah, man. We just breaking the ice, man. Ice is getting thawed out. That's all we doing. Getting the feel, the vibration, synced in. It's all good, man. So anybody got any closing remarks before we close out here?
No, I appreciate being able to link with you guys. I appreciate the link, Grand Sheik.
Islam, man. Glad you pulled up.
Thank you for this presentation, Sheik. It's been very good. Islam, to the young brother that just came on the chat and everything. I hope he feels comfortable with us and he, tries to pursue.
I've been watching y'all from far.
All right,
You know
all
what I
right,
mean?
all right.
I'm about to
Islam.
say, I'm about to say, I got Grand Sheik albums and all that. You know what I mean? Lightweight
Islam.
fan, but we solid though.
Yeah, it's loud.
But as always, it's beautiful to hear from the family. As always, it's beautiful to get this knowledge. And I hope everybody enjoy the rest of their week and everything like that. And I look forward to the next meeting on Sunday.
All right, so let me just close out in prayer. Let me close out in prayer real quick before we close out. All right. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, my salvation, by night and by day, who was Holy Prophet, Noble Jew Ali. Amen. All right, Islam Moors. Hope everybody have a beautiful rest of their day. And peace and love.
Peace and love, Morris.
When you got free time, we got a link right there.
Peace and love.
I'll hit you in a couple hours. Islam, everybody.
Love.